The James H. Reeve phone-in.
For that lady to jump off a bridge with her son is absolutely, I find it absolutely, I'm just lost for words.
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
My ferrets, I've got 2 ferrets and 2 dogs. Well, one of my ferrets tried humping a dog.
Really?
Yeah, tried humping its leg.
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I went the other way and I got cross, I got really mad and thought, well, stuff you, I can do this, I know that you're wrong and I can do better than this for my kids, you know, and this is what I'm going to go and do.
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Express yourself then, Dominique.
So you think you're a big man now, locking the doors, we can't get out. You beat my mama down because you're paranoid. Anything she does, you're just paranoid.
Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I've got a child, right? And if anyone ever hurt that child, I would say this, when they got released, I would personally hunt them down and I would end up in jail myself.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Aye. Thank you all. Good evening, boys and girls. It's 10 o'clock, allowing for other stuff on a Sunday evening, and James H. Reeve once again begins the journey which starts with a single step towards the end of the week, when we can kick it in the head. However, since we are shackled to each other for 3 hours this evening, once again, our services are available to you on 0161 288 0103. Sorry we're a bit late starting. I promised, because in the hurly-burly of our daily working together, Jackie and I don't always have the time to perhaps bond to the extent that we probably should. And therefore, this evening, I thought I'd take her out for a meal prior to the show. Unfortunately, I booked an Italian restaurant. So we'll be stopping at the Chippy on the way home, or that place in Cheetah Mill that does rubies 24 hours a day. So, where are we going to go from tonight? Well, I'll tell you what we can do. You may, by all means, deliver your verdict on the... Is it 6 weeks ago it started? On the Weltmeisterschaft, as the Germans call it. And if they'd had their way, we'd all call it that. You're more than welcome to have a word about that. But on another issue... Well, it's a semi-related issue. What about this? Oh, by the way, did you notice that the dugout looked like, at one point, I just tuned in, and I thought it was a Paul O'Grady look-alike contest. Not extraordinary, the two coaches. You notice? Anyway, apropos that, this is the latest to emerge from the shambles, which is England's campaign in the World Cup 2006. A senior FA official said that the wives and girlfriend, WAGs is their acronym, of England players were definitely a problem in Germany, and their fears their presence in the spa town of Baden-Baden, so good they named it twice, may have distracted players during the World Cup. Well, I don't know, but something clearly was, because they were tripe! Anyway, with their shopping sprees and late-night partying, the WAGs captured nearly as many headlines as their fellas. And at meeting last week, the New England manager... Oh, I see, right. Sorry, I thought they'd already found a job which suited his abilities, which was the manager of New England. But no, he's the new manager of England, Steve McLaren, and Brian Barwick, chief exec of the FA, agreed it was a mistake to let the players' families accompany them. So there. So that's one of the things that we could run with, apart from the footballing and the calamitous end to Zinedine Zidane's career. What was he thinking about? He must have fewer brains than Wayne Rooney. And I never thought I'd be able to say that about anybody who hadn't been in a serious road accident. Anyway, your views on that in the aftermath of England's calamitous progress, and also the tournament itself. That's the lighter side of things. You may have thoughts about what on earth John Prescott was going to do with a cowboy outfit that he was allegedly presented with by this geezer. And I know, I think we've probably exhausted all your Wild West inventiveness with the release of Brokeback Mountain, but you never know. You might have some more westerns that you could name after John Prescott. Obviously, I don't think we need to emphasise the homosexual part of it, because by all accounts, that's the last thing which John is. Anyway, we'll sling that in the mix somewhere. What else is happening? Oh, Dave Cameron, call me Dave, look, I'm not wearing a tie, says that we shouldn't really get the hump about hoodies. He has sprung to the defence of one of society's most maligned groups, the teenage hoodie. And he says, youths who hide under hooded tops don't mean to appear threatening. They're just trying to blend in. He's called for greater understanding for hoodies, saying that the garments are more defensive than offensive. He says the hoodie is a response to a problem, not a problem in itself. We, the people in suits but no ties, often see hoodies as aggressive. We see it as the uniform of a rebel army of young gangsters. But he stressed that the hooded top is a way to stay invisible in the street. Is it? Is it really? Even if it makes you look like a ventilation funnel off the Titanic. Yeah, because they're everywhere. He said in a dangerous environment, the best thing to do is keep your head down and blend in. But he said for some, the teenagers represent all that's wrong about youth culture in Britain. However, he believes that adults' response to the hoodie shows how far we are from finding the long-term answer to putting things right. And you've probably noticed that amongst the latest tranche of ideas is to introduce whole new things to the teaching syllabus, to the curriculum, to get kids to behave themselves. And this is all about teaching. What have we had? We've had citizenship in the past. It's a load of new stuff now. In my view, there's nothing works better than a good hiding, I've found. In fact, some people pay good money for it. Anyway, we put this to you on 0161 288 0103. We're here for you to open yourself up to the northwest of England, to the whole of the British Isles, and far beyond, yea, even to the Antipodes. 0161 288 0103. It is your platform, and I am only too happy to help your faltering steps up the ladder to it. Once you're on it, if you're no good, I'm afraid, the trapdoor gets opened, but at least we do allow you to have a bit of a go. I am the sole arbiter. As the man said when he took his leather jacket back, claiming it was a fake, the judge's decision is final. 0161 288 0103. Wasn't that a brilliant introduction, eh? Carefully scripted, every word tailor-made for the occasion. It's all downhill from now on. If you want to send us an email, then I don't mind those, because we generally find people who could go to a bit of trouble and are literate or fairly close to it. If you go to key103.co.uk, you will find all the HTML there that your heart desires to send us an email. You can text if you want. I don't know how much it costs. I'm not bothered. I'm not going to the trouble of looking it up to tell you. Frankly, I don't want you to. There we are. Thank you. And thus you have a grasp of the entire panoply of facilities which enable you to contact Key 103 in the personage of James H. Reeve. I'm going to throw in some stuff of my own, including a cracking tale. This is from the local rag, this is brilliant, about a bloke called 75-year-old Stanley Smith. And this is one of these. You don't normally read this in your local paper. This is normally in the items you wouldn't believe column from a foreign country. This sort of thing tends to happen in Romania recently, but it actually happened in Urmston. Well, it started in Urmston, went via a lot of places, and back to Urmston again. I'll do that for you later. What else have we got? Got some mail? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, you get the drill. 0161 288 0103. James H. Reeve here. If I might borrow my newly invented catchphrase, I'm here for quite a bit. Thank you. 13 minutes past 10, and we'll talk to a punter in a moment. Tar.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
I'll go and get it. I'll go and put it in the bin. Oh, no, that's a £75 fine.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. The false alarms are over. We're not playing at it anymore. Next time we do it, it's for real. We'll give away £25,000 cash. We've logged the songs into the computer. The timer is running. The countdown is on. Very soon we'll play the Sugar Babes Push the Button, Madonna's Like a Prayer, and the Stereophonics Handbags and Glad Rags. When we do, we'll pay out £25,000. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. It's getting closer and closer.
Welcome to live coverage of the England game, and England kick off. They pass it around a bit, and it's half-time. Let's hear what the panel think.
Well,
Stop you there, we're back for the second half. OK, bit more passing and tackling, and there's a goal for England. Oops, shoddy back pass there. Oh, another goal. Back and forth, another goal, another cross. There's the final whistle. Gotta go, got a plane to catch.
Can't wait to get on holiday. Cosmos has thousands of holidays ready to go. To book, call 0870 145 5000 or click cosmosholidays.co.uk. Go book it.
Set the treadmill to 5k. Done 3. Feels like 30. Legs are jelly. Lungs are burning. And it's all down to the decathlon sale.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock-bottom prices. Be careful, you could come in for some tennis balls and leave with a fully equipped gym. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale, just off Junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the decathlon sale.
The Vodafone Live Hour.
For all the best in live music. This week we are packing them in. The Black Eyed Peas, Rooster and a great Kylie cover. Plus we have weekend passes to the Latitude Festival featuring Snow Patrol, Paolo Nutini, Captain and the Zootons. It's the best live music you'll hear on the radio. With me, Joe Good, Monday night at 9.
The Vodafone Live Hour. Music's better when it's live. Thank you. Key 103. Key 103. The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Where should we start this evening? I know. Let's go to somewhere with no connection with football whatsoever. Let's have a complete clean break. Let's go somewhere where they wouldn't even know the meaning of football. Newton Heath. All right, I'm prepared to wait till you work that one out. Jones in Newton Heath, you're our first punter this fine Sunday evening. Jones.
Hi, James.
Now then.
Now then.
Do you feel as if a great weight has been lifted off your shoulders, John?
No.
Oh.
No, I've enjoyed the football. I really have, James. Yes, I have. But these lot tonight shown us how it should be done, didn't they? Both times. Both teams.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid so, yeah.
Yeah, they did. And... you know, it's typical, isn't it? Isn't it typical? When the men fail, blame the women. Yeah?
Oh, come on. Well, yeah, that's history. That's been the course of history since time immemorial.
Isn't it disgraceful, though? These girls, bits of kids, half of them, having a wonderful time. Some of them just earning a bit of money on their own. Why shouldn't they enjoy it? They are trained men. If they can't do it, well, get rid of them.
Listen, earning a bit of money. They're earning 40, 50, 60, 70 and more £1,000 a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They get their wives, girlfriends and whatever.
I mean, the women earn a bit of money. Some of them are earning a bit of money for the first time.
Oh, well, I'm sure some of them are beauty therapists or temps or whatever.
Whatever.
Right. So they decide... Listen, shall I tell you something? A friend of mine, a former... international footballer, a former manager...
who shall remain unnamed?
Who shall remain Scottish but anonymous.
Right.
Right. He said when he was the manager of one of the top clubs in England, their goalkeeper came to him and he said, the wife's been moaning about us, being away from home for away matches and all that sort of thing. And he said to him, and the figures now were ridiculous, but, let's say at the time the bloke was earning £200 a week.
Which was a lot then.
Well, when your average bloke was probably earning 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're talking about the 50s, aren't you?
I'm talking about probably... late 60s.
Okay.
Okay. He said, right, he said, I see. So he said, what do you do during the week? He says, well, we do this, this, that, the other, play a bit of golf. And, he says, you go shopping? He says, oh, yeah, I take it. He said, where do you go? He said, well, we go to, we go to Harrods and Selfridges and that. He says, I see. Well, why don't you get a job where you can spend every weekend with the missus and you can go shopping at Woolworths? He said, all right, boss, leave it with me. And that was the end of that.
Point taken, yeah.
Whoa, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's wrong, James, isn't it? These girls, some of them are only bits of kids. They're enjoying life. Why shouldn't they? It's better than working in a rotten factory like I had to do, packing rotten sausages, frozen sausages.
Frozen sausages?
Aye, hamburgers.
Yeah, but you could let your imagination run riot, couldn't you?
Oh, and didn't I?
Yeah.
Of course I did.
So somebody told me you were packing parachutes.
Packing punches, kids, packing punches.
And I tell you what, though, you would have wanted to go abroad if with Bert Troutman, wouldn't you? Or probably Billy Meredith.
Keep going. God love you.
I can't think of anybody further back than that.
No, I can't either. It's getting more difficult.
No, W.G. Grace.
No, that's Mum.
Hey?
Cricketer.
I know, but it used to take him 6 months to get to Australia and back.
It did, didn't it? And whoever came back, I wonder.
There was a... Listen, I've got to tell you this. I must look this up, actually. I've just thought of this now. There was... have you read Moby Dick?
No, I've seen the film.
You've seen the film with Gregory... what's his name?
Gregory Peck.
Yeah, Gregory Peck. Rhyming slang, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You are naughty.
No, it's not. Gregory Peck, neck. That's all it is. Get that down, you Gregory. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they sail from Nantucket.
Right.
Right. Now, that in itself is the subject of a very famous limerick. Okay?
Yeah.
But there was no outright winner. So, they used to go off hunting the whale, you see.
Yeah.
And they'd be away for however long it takes to go and find a whale and fetch it back. And there was a device, you see, and it was called a Nantucket husband.
Which was?
Well, how can I put this? They found a lot of them in when they were going through people's belongings. Because, you see, your husband would be away at work for...
I'm getting...
Yeah. And some of them were beautifully decorated.
I'll bet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're worth a bit now, James.
Oh, ivory handles and all the lot.
A bit like scrimshaws now, aren't you?
Yes, there would be a bit of scrimshaw involved, I would have thought. Yeah?
Yes. Well, you're very knowledgeable, James.
Oh, I must look it up, actually. I think it was called is it called a Nantucket husband or a
non-husband took it. It'd be more like a non-husband took it, you think?
I would think so. You would have to took it, yes.
Can we get on to David Cameron?
Oh, yes, by all means, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I tell you what, James, if he is so fond of these hoodies, and they're not all nasty lads, not all of them, I reckon he should open up his garden and invite them all in.
Do you know, I think he would do, wouldn't he? And then he'd go, hi, kids.
Yeah.
And then he'd have his tie off.
And doing a bit of hand jive and all that. Oh, of course he would. Yeah, he'd probably start speaking Jamaican and all.
And probably undo an extra button on his shirt. And
God forbid. Yeah. Could we stand it?
I've got to ask you something, John.
Yes.
As regards our politicians, now you've reminded me of it.
Mm-hmm.
John Prescott.
I met him.
You did?
I did.
You did? Are you selling your story?
I only had my photograph taken with him, and he's a bit cool man. You know, he doesn't come over as being very friendly. I think some of the jobs he does he doesn't want to do. And he's not a very well man, you know. He's got, what is it? Something wrong with his blood, hasn't there?
Has he?
Aye, of course he has.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
about
why he
that.
nods off a lot in the
Are we talking about the same bloke?
Ah, yeah. Oh, aye, yeah.
But you didn't find him strangely, didn't find there was any magnetism there, right?
Oh, none whatsoever.
Oh,
and
right,
yet,
okay.
you know, before I met him, I always thought he was... I sort of held him in high esteem. I was sold, wasn't I? His persona. I was sold it like I was supposed to swallow it. He was, the old Labour.
He was the intelligent old Labour man in the new Labour ranks, keeping them in touch with reality.
Aye.
And then it turns out that he
wasn't at all.
He's a Burke.
He's a pillock, isn't he? He let himself down, he let everybody else down, and he should go, definitely should go.
You know, they all say, my dad told me this, they used to sing this in the army. He said the officers, if they'd been to public school, he said they were gentlemen. They looked after the horses first, you next, and themselves last. He said the worst officer you could get, he said, was one who'd come up through the ranks.
Up through the ranks, definitely, yeah.
He said, and the old song was, the working class can kiss my arse, 'cause I've the sergeant's job at last.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So there we are.
It's like, the upper crust ladies, like Camilla.
Oh, yes.
They're as tough as old boots because they weren't cosseted at home like we, we didn't go to, schools where they went away to finishing school and all that.
Oh, yes.
They didn't have a family life, so they will learn to stand on their own 2 feet, and they are as tough as old boots.
They were probably brought up by extremely sadistic people.
Nanny,
with curious sexual outlook who wouldn't be allowed to go anywhere near anyone of school age these days.
Exactly.
And there we are. Whereas at the University of Life, at Tontine Street Ragged School, where you went, Joan, I should imagine it was one big extended family.
I went to the same school as Judy.
Judy who?
Judy, Punching Judy off the television.
Judy Finnegan?
Aye, of course I did.
Give over, and yet you're so common.
You've noticed, have you, Jane? Judy comes from Newton Heath, my dear.
Does she really?
Amos Avenue, Newton Heath.
God bay, she won't be... Oh!
She was head girl. Many, many years after I've left, I must add. Yeah, Judy Finnegan's a Newton Heath girl.
Newton Heath, she won't be grateful for... Oh, I must...
Oh, she doesn't hide it. No, she doesn't hide it.
Does she not?
No.
Right.
So there you go, you see.
Right, well, thank you very kindly.
You're very welcome, my dear.
I've got to move on, Mrs. now, because I know, cheery bye. I know you'd have been there with Billy Wright and what have you, Peter Doherty. That was Joni Newton Heath, who started about WAGs, said it's blame the women because the men have made a mistake. That's all. What? It's Anthony and Cleopatra all over again. Don't you see that? 0161 288 0103. Shall we go with Lindsay in Arpanay? Okay. Lindsay? Oh, dear me. I'm sorry, Lindsay. I had to stifle an unexpected Raquel there.
Oh, I'm all right.
Okay, then. Right. What can we do? You're on Key 103, the biggest phone in the Northwest. What do you want?
What do I want? Well, yes. I'm really here speaking not just for myself, but all the mothers out there who's got kids with behaviour problems. Right? And... I can't explain this, but how I'm going to explain it is, if there's any mothers with kids with behaviour problems who are in the teens, and when you go to the hospital with appointments, they haven't got a clue what you're talking about, and they send you on to parts where, these sections where they send you to help you. Anyway, it's easier to sort it out themselves.
Lindsay?
What?
I have no idea. Go back.
I thought you wouldn't.
Go back to the beginning. Beginning. What's...
Right, what it is, I've got 3 kids with behaviour problems.
Right, what do you mean they've got behavioural problems?
Well, they won't go to school, they think they're the man of the house, they're demanding. I mean, they were great when they were little. And then since they've gone into, they're not even gone into high school yet, or 2 are, but the 1 isn't. And the worst part is that, you're taking them to school and they're refusing to go to school. You're asking for help and it's just sat there as if it's the mother's job and not the teacher's job. And
Good heavens! You don't mean somebody suggested that bringing up children was the responsibility of the mother?
No, but I'm saying...
Who do these people think they are?
No, I'm saying is when the kids are bad in school, they're sending them home. Why can't they keep them in school?
Because a teacher's job is
to teach them.
Is to teach. That's correct.
Yeah.
Is to teach.
Yeah, but on the other hand, why should the kids get excluded for bad behaviour? Because they've been trained to sort out that kind of stuff anyway.
Teachers can do so much.
Yeah, and so can the mother and the father do so much.
Yes, but the child is not the teacher's moral responsibility.
No, but they're just easy to throw them out the door, say, right, we don't want you here for 2 weeks, go on, try. And that's it.
What's she supposed to do? Take the kid home and put them up in the spare room? Teacher's job is to teach. There are 30 kids in a class.
There's 34 in my daughter's and there's 24 in my other daughter's classroom. And I'm not joking. I mean, all right, I'd take one to start off, but when there's 24 of them together, or 34 in a class, and 3 are messing up, I mean, I can understand where they're coming from, but on the other hand, they should have time with them to explain, ask them why they're playing up like that in class. Instead of saying, that's just the first cop out. Oh, just send her home. We'll get the class started out now if you send her home or him home.
Right, so you think that the other 33 children, they should all wait for their education until your kid has been sorted out for you by the staff at the school?
Well, nearly enough, but if you was asking for some help, for some more help regarding on what your child or son's got, I mean, you can't wait like a 2 or 3 year stretch. So you'll be stuck at home with them then for a good 2 to 3 years, and then they're saying, well, he's losing the education, and then you say, well, you put him in school then, and you pick him up if he's so clever.
Right, okay, so you don't feel it's your responsibility, Lindsay,
it's my responsibility to put my kids in school, but when you've had that much hassle with putting the kids in school and you can see you're struggling getting them in school, like putting them in a taxi every morning, and bringing them...
doing what?
Like, what do we do, right? I was putting them in school, and as soon as I get round the corner, they're on my phone, oh, will you come and pick your daughter up? Oh, will you come and pick your son up? Because they're playing up or they've run out of school yard. I say, wait a minute, it's 9 o'clock, just gone. You should keep them in school, shut the gates up. I said, if you don't want it at this school, go and put it at a school where they're supposed to go to.
What was the part about the taxi?
The taxi is mainly that they're playing up in the yard or in the school in the hours of the school, and they're telling me to pick them up, and I couldn't, get them on the bus because they're just running all over the place in the schoolyard. So the only solution was is keep over them by the hand and put them in the taxi, and that was it. And I was doing that regular. And I said to her, enough's enough, I said, I don't get a penny off you here, or no one, So I said, if you want them in school, I said, you bring them home.
Right.
I'll take them to school. Because I say, you get petrol allowance. I says, I don't. And that's how I look at it as well.
Yes,
I'm looking at it on them grounds.
Tell me something. These kids of yours, how much pocket money do you give them a week?
I give them... My eldest gets £10 a week, and the youngest gets $7.50 a week.
Right.
But I do, if they start being bad, I'll deduct it, and depending on how bad they are. Like, my eldest one's been bad for 2 weeks, so she's had no money at all for 2 weeks.
Right.
And she's been stuck in a bedroom, and I said, well, you can't have it both ways. Be bad or be good, it's up to you.
What does she do within reason? What does she do while she's in the bedroom? Has she got a computer? She's got a television?
She's got a computer and a television and everything, and I took it all out, and she said, I want it back. I said, well, you behave yourself for a couple of days, and I'll give it you back.
A couple of days?
I've got about 2 or 3 days. I mean, she can't even behave for 1 day, never long 2 or 3 days.
You would think she would at least have the sense to play for time, so at least... keep her head down for 2 days, and then she can have it all back and start all over again, can't she?
Well, yeah, but the worst part is? If the kids were roaming the street at 2, 3 in the morning and being drunk and carrying knives or whatever, something would have been done years ago. But because they're not like that, and they're stuck in the house or in the back garden or whatever, they're just, I'm just getting no support whatsoever on regarding the things what I need.
Right, they're stuck in the house. Is there a male parent?
Yeah, the dad's with them.
The dad's with them, so they've got. So you are in fact an ideal family.
Yeah, we're an ideal family. We're married and everything. Yeah. Don't get us wrong.
Right, that sends a chill down my spine. But you are in fact right. You've got a father is present, mother is present, and three children.
Yeah.
A nuclear family living in a reasonable accommodation?
Yeah, it's reasonable. It's decorating, carpeted and everything.
Okie-doke. So actually, you cannot have any complaints. You're not a dysfunctional family in any of the accepted senses. Now, why is it that you and your husband can't
Go on.
exercise any control over your children, and you feel that somehow it's somebody else who should be doing it?
Well, I'll tell you what I've done, right? It doesn't help when your daughter or your son goes round to friends and she comes back saying, oh, I'm going down to my mate's, her house is alright, it could do what it wants, it can have parties late at night, early hours of the morning. I said, Lisa, I'm not having my house like that, I'm afraid. I said, no way I'm doing that. And then I've got my son, he goes to his pals, he can come back in a mood. But it's just a change from going to high school. They might as well be in the nursery. At least you know where they was.
At what stage have they ever been obedient children?
No, they haven't. They've only
never
started it from being in high school.
No, that's what I'm saying. Have they ever been obedient?
Not when they were little. They were all right when they were little.
Yeah,
they knew it was bad from wrong and things like that.
That's what obedient means.
Yeah, they were all right when they were little. But since they've gone into high school, that's where it starts. Because don't forget, you got all the bad families coming in the high school where they don't get picked up on going to school, and they just pick their habits up from there, like saying, oh, I get £50 a week doing paper round or going on. I said, well, you go and show me in the shop what does the paper rounds for £50, and I'll do it for you. And it just makes things up as they go along to cause trouble.
£50 a week for a paper round?
Yeah, whoever these mates are who's saying it. And I said, you have to believe everything what comes out of the mouth, to the kids.
I could squeeze a paper round in.
I know, I could. I said, I'll go to the shop and do it myself. I said, I'll do 3 at that round. I'll get £150 a week. But that's kids how they're all taught, you see, and they're just taking notice of that instead of ignoring it, and then coming to me or the dad asking them, well, is it true? And we were just told to say, no, it isn't true, they don't get £50 a week. But she only believes what's coming out of their mouth, you see.
Then don't you take your children on one side and explain things to them?
I have tried to explain a lot of things from what's bad. They know what's bad from good. I've tried to explain...
Well, they clearly don't. If they don't go to school, or if they're excluded from school because they're disrupting the rest of the class, then they obviously don't know right from wrong, do they?
No, but when they go to school, they're all right at home, right, and everything, but as soon as you say, right, you got to go to school in the morning because it's like weekend, and I'll say, I'm not going to school, I don't like it. And I'll just say, why don't you like it? And they say, because I don't like it. And that's all you get. And I was next minute, I'll say, well, if you're going to ask me again, I'm going to start telling you to F off and everything. And that's what happens from there. And I can't go any further, or else, it can just really go bad, the house. And to be honest with you, there's probably a lot more mothers who are going through the same thing as me.
I'm a little concerned that you automatically feel it is, if your kids misbehave, it is somehow the teacher's fault or the council's fault for not doing anything about it. But
I'll do an example. My son's in a school, right? And he's good as gold in school. And when he comes out of school, he's a little bugger. Excuse me French, but he's a little bugger when he starts. He thinks he's the man of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he's getting tall, and to be honest with you, he's looking down at me and the dad now. As if he's the man and we're the bloody kids.
Right. Well, you've got to bear in mind, Lindsay, there is always an element of rebelliousness in teenagers.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
I agree.
Now, sometimes it expresses itself in a variety of ways, in a number of degrees. It can go from the tiniest little transgression to being completely out of control. Now, somehow, you get kids who will do all the necessary things, but I'm sure you remember when you were a kid that you wanted to... it made no sense that your parents told you to be in by 10:30, or whatever it was. Because whatever you're going to do after 10:30, I'm pretty sure you could manage it before 10:30. So 10:30 is a completely arbitrary time limit. All this sort of thing. When it reaches a point where they're becoming disruptive, they've no right to disrupt the education of other children who are prepared to learn. Teachers are trained to teach.
Well, yeah, I agree on that.
Right.
But I've said to...
They are also trained, within reason, certain techniques to make it possible to teach a room full of kids, whether they be infants or adolescents or what have you, within reason. But they are not prepared. When it reaches the point where their job is entirely to do with keeping kids in order and no teaching is going on, something has got to be done. They are teachers, they are not sergeant majors.
Yeah, I agree on that, what you've just said. But when they've been evicted, when they get kicked out of school because they don't want to know more, and you're on to the education and whatever, well, you know, my son or daughter's got to go to school, this, that and the other. And then, before you know it, there's meetings. You're having these meetings. And I had a meeting in July. No, I didn't. I tell a lie. I went back to Booval regarding my kids. And they said, oh, they shut the files. I said, you've got no right shutting the files. They said, he's not 16 yet. And, you know, and then it caused that much of a stink because he didn't sort things out for me. I was getting really frustrated because I didn't know what to do. That the next meeting we had was January of this year. I mean, and he's not been in school since Christmas 04.
Right, well, you do sound as if you at least do want the kids to toe the line and behave themselves and grow up into something approaching responsible children. But
I'll tell you what I did do, though, because Booval wasn't listening to me, and what I said in Booval, I was just walking out to cross over the verge outside the front. They were all laughing, so I went back in, and I said, do you think it's funny, dear? I said, I slapped your face in a bit with a pen and paper. And which I did. I wrote a letter down to London. I put a complaint on him. Right. And now he's gone further into it, you know, and I got a reply back saying they're looking into it.
Well,
and I said,
I've got an idea for you, Lindsay. I've got an idea. How many kids have you got? 3?
I've got 3.
3. Right. Well, listen.
Go on.
A mate of mine did this, and
Go on.
It worked a treat.
Go on.
Hang one as an example to the others.
Well, yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah. And I think you'll find their behaviour will improve markedly. And you won't miss one.
Well, to be honest with you, I feel like bringing the belt out like we was brought up with the kids, but you can't hit them today. So the only thing you can take off is like the computer or the TV. That doesn't work.
Or the clothes.
Or the clothes, take the clothes off them, and that I said, I don't care.
Gradually cut back on the food.
I'll tell you what.
Until they're too weak to misbehave, then you've got them.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I have done when they do start acting silly and stupid and don't act mature enough what the ages are. I'll say, right, I'll give you a meal of a 3-year-old. Since you're 14, I'll give you a meal of a 4-year-old. My eldest 60, and she can have one for the 6-year-old, and the young one's 11. Well, I'll give her one for the 4-year-old as well.
It's like
and in the morning, then half an hour after, I said, I'm starving. I said, well, at your age, and you get a proper meal. I mean, a lot of people I think that's like that.
Listen, watch a film called Spring and Port Wine if you want lessons on how to discipline your children. If you do, listen, I can assure you, Lindsay, if you do decide to take a belt to them, I won't tell anybody. You have my blessing. That was Lindsay and Harper A. We haven't solved the problem, but at least we've shed a little light on it. 0161 288 0103 there. An example of what you can discuss on Key 103 with James H. Reeve. Isn't it lovely having this liberty, this latitude, this licence, this, just trying to think of something else beginning with L. Lemonade. 0161 288 0103. We're off to Stay the Bridge next.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103.
He just used to lose his temper, fly into a rage, and then start punching me.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work.
Floor Fillers Club Classics. The #1 album. 57 tracks on 3 CDs. 18 number ones. It's the only classics album you need. Floor Fillers Club Classics, out now.
Can't wait to get on holiday? Cosmos has thousands of holidays ready to go. To book, call 0870 145 5000 or click cosmosholidays.co.uk. Go book it.
Out of the shuttle for 15 minutes now. I've been down through all 27 gears. I've nothing left. thighs are on fire. It's all the fault of the decathlon sale.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock bottom prices, be careful. You could come in for a football shirt and leave a fully equipped cyclist. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale, just off Junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the decathlon sale.
You know running's good, and raising money, well, that feels great. But running and raising money? Now that's amazing. Running 10 kilometres for Cancer Research UK is a fantastic way to fundraise for the UK's leading cancer charity. Whether you're running because somebody close to you has been touched by cancer, or you just want to run and raise money at a spectacular venue, entry couldn't be simpler. To join us at Tapton Park on the 24th of September, visit cancerresearchuk10.co.uk. The Cancer Research UK 10K. Together, we will beat cancer.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
See what I mean? We make all our plans, slowly but surely we draw our plans against them. And then someone says one word and we're away. And everything goes in an entirely different direction from that which we were expecting. A bit like Stan from Urmston. I'll tell you about him in a bit. In the meanwhile, Andrea in Staley Bridge. Andrea, you're on Key 103. Hello.
No, I just want to say that this lady that was on before, I wouldn't even call her a lady, actually. I mean...
Lindsay?
Yeah. Why is she going on about these kids at school? Teachers are there to teach them. Yeah?
I have to say, listen. I don't deliberately take the opposite view automatically just to engender an argument, because there are some things which are undeniable, and it rather gives the game away if you say I automatically take the opposite view. But there was what concerned me was that at first her attitude seemed to be, my kids are a pair of toe rags.
Yeah.
Why aren't their teachers and the council doing anything about it?
Well, why aren't they doing anything about it?
Exactly. However, in amongst the lengthy, rapid and occasionally high-pitched description she gave of her predicament, it did become clear that she did in fact want them to behave.
Yeah.
And was not merely interested in blaming everybody else, but felt that such help as is available was not being administered in the correct fashion.
I've got a six-year-old and nearly 3-year-old, yeah?
Well,
now, my child...
You sound a lot older than that, Andrea.
Pardon?
You sound a lot older than that.
Do I?
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, go on. Just an observation, yeah.
Yeah, they're my grandsons.
All right.
No, I mean, it's like, they go in... Well, the eldest one, he goes into school, and every morning he gets up and he's like, I don't want to go in. It's like, well, why? I just don't want to go in. But he goes in, he has a good time. If there's a problem, then, if there's a problem there, the teachers will tell me. And if there is a serious problem there, then I will say, come on, we'll get it sorted. I'll take it, if he needs to come out of school, then fair enough, he has to come out of school. But he's never, obviously at this stage, he's never come out of school yet.
Right.
But he's been really, he goes in the morning and he enjoys himself once he's there. He misbehaves at home at times. It's no angel. No child is an angel, are they?
No, of course they're not.
So he comes home, and him and his brother, like cat and dogs together.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, I've had enough of pair of you, and I send them to the rooms. Send a pair of them to the rooms. Now, I've got, like I say, I've got 6 and, nearly 7 and nearly 3 that they are. So I'll send them to the rooms.
Now, do you know hey, listen, I'm going to interrupt you now, whether you like it or not. The latest thinking is that you shouldn't do that.
Really?
Yeah, because they associate their private space with wrongdoing. Right. What you should have is, in any event, they're probably, they'll be browsing the internet while they're up there, won't they?
Well, no, because no. If it comes to that with my eldest one, I mean, he's got the PlayStation. I'll take it off him,
All right, okay.
which I've actually done before now.
Right.
So he does know that I will do that.
But I'm led to believe that the latest thinking of in child psychology is that if you send a kid who's done wrong to its room,
yeah,
it has a long-term deleterious effect because it associates bad behaviour with being solitary, with being in its own space, and that is a feeling which transfers itself in later life. The latest thinking is that you should have a neutral area.
Yeah.
Where you send them. Retire to a neutral corner for a compulsory count of 8.
Like an naughty step.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Or a naughty dungeon. Or an Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the loft.
The naughty...
Does the loft do?
The naughty bottomless pit. Yeah. Oubliette.
No, I mean, I just think she was so wrong in talking about the teachers, you know, for what she was saying. I really don't think that was right. You know,
well, I know. I mean, I've said this on a number of occasions. I know there's quite a few people in the teaching profession, and when you get kids like that, you don't know what to do because.
I'm not a teacher, by the way.
No, I'm saying I know quite a few people are, and they say if you've got a kid like that, you know that if you discipline the kids, then if it's got to the stage where you've got to do that, then you already know that the next thing you're going to have to do is defend yourself against the parents.
Yeah.
And probably wear a stab-proof jacket.
Yeah.
Right? Because the parents, who will be the scum of the earth anyway, will come in and behave like a continental football manager, defending the rights of their children to behave how they like.
That's it, yeah.
And criticising you for daring to expect them to behave with a modicum of propriety. I say. I think I'll go and shoot a bloody tiger.
No, I just think it's so wrong. I mean, and to give, I mean, I don't give my children any pocket money. They earn it, you know.
Yeah.
They earn it. They have to clean up.
Right, so it's a privilege then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So once they've cleaned up and they do the bedrooms and stuff like that, then yeah, I will give them, you know, £1 or buy an ice cream or something like that. I don't give them too much because I think if you give them too much, then it's not enough, is it? If you give them, I don't know, £1 or an ice cream, you know.
I've lost all concept of that now. I thought I bought the other 2 or 3 weeks ago and it was really hot.
Yeah.
I went in a paper shop and I thought, I just fancy a nice lolly.
Right.
Right. And you can't get a nice lolly now.
Oh no, ice cream man. You know when it comes round.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, the ice cream man.
Oh right. Well,
they like the ice crems.
Well, I'm rooting in the fridge thinking, where is there just a nice lolly in it?
What can I get?
Right. But there's like ice cream flavoured Mars bars and all this caper.
Yeah,
so
which cost you about two or £3.
I know. I went up. I got 50p out. I thought, I wonder how much change I'm going to get out of this. That's £1.25 for a bloody ice lolly. You could get off Sivori's. You could get a broken one for a penny.
I mean, you're talking about that now, you know. The youngest son is his birthday next month, but he got 10 pence out. He wants a tractor, you know, a JMC tractor. It's like a JCB tractor, shall I say.
Yeah.
And he got 10 pence out. He said, "We can go and buy the tractor now, can't we?"
Oh well.
He hasn't got a clue. Obviously, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it'll be free next month.
Yeah, I mean, you have that. You go through that spell when you're a kid, when you've no idea about anything really.
Yeah.
You think, you know, I'll buy my mummy a house, and you get like.
That's it. Yeah.
You get £1. You say, I'll have that house for you, because you've not got a clue what's going on, have you? Really?
No.
Right. And then there's a bit in the middle where you know exactly what's going on, because if you're a teenager, you're choosing what your parents are going to buy you.
Exactly. Exactly, yeah.
And if you're a parent, you're weighing up the cost of everything.
That's right.
And then,
yeah.
then you enter a stage of life where it's so long since you did any of that, you've no idea how much anything costs.
No.
Right? And you can't help saying, how much?
Yeah.
Unless you're from Yorkshire, in which case you do that all your life. What?
I'm not from Yorkshire, so I wouldn't know.
Everything's... How much... Right, I'm buying us it... Right, can I have that magazine? Yeah, how much is it? £3.50. What?
Can I put it back? Can I read it in the shop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
No, it is hard, really. But like I say, I mean, at the end of the day, I just think that the other girl that was on before, I just think she's so wrong. So I just wanted to put my point across.
Well,
I'm not a teacher. I'm not, but I agree with the teachers. If there's a problem, then send them out.
You cannot jeopardise 30-odd kids.
No, you
if
can't.
30-odd kids are prepared to learn and one isn't, then there can only be one winner.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If one of mine, if one of mine turned round, was the same, like was the sort of, if he was jeopardising everybody else's place, I'd be fuming. I'd be furious. Absolutely furious.
If your kid came over to you and said, "What have you done?
Yeah.
Why have you been sent home? You've done what?"
That's it.
Upstairs. Right.
That's
Not. Right, come on, we'll go down that school and sort that teacher out. I know teachers that they've thrown out kids who are obviously, they are destined for a life of occasional imprisonment and social security.
Yeah.
It's quite clear that is their destiny, right?
That's right, yeah.
So they throw them out for being meatheads, and what happens is, the next thing, the parents come bursting in the room, and they're obviously, well, it's usually the mother, because the father is, absent.
Right,
it's invariably the mother, sometimes the father, but quite often the mother, who is at least as violent as the absent father, and they end up having to defend themselves physically.
Yeah, that's it.
From parents who shouldn't be allowed to have children in the first place.
They shouldn't, no, they shouldn't. I mean, like I say, we're in a stable family, me and my partner, got two beautiful boys, but if they ever disrupted the class, then I would be so annoyed with them. I would be furious with them. I'd send them down to the police station myself. I really would. If they ever did anything wrong, really bad, I would send them down to the police station and get the policeman to have a word with them.
Strong words, Andrea, but I take your point, and there'll be a lot of people who will agree with you, and there will be a lot of people who will disagree with you, and I'm sure there'll be some people who will agree with you now, listening to you on the wireless, but when it comes to it, they will be prepared to defend the indefensible when it comes to their kids. 0161 288 0103. You've got to go, Andrea, because we have to move on. So that's the way it is. It's a fast-moving, hard-hitting, or is it hard-moving and fast-hitting? It's probably all three. Phone in, the biggest in the Northwest, James H. Reeve, on Key 103. We're off to Withenshaw in a mo.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
What is the longest toenail ever recorded? 1 meters 15, 3 miles, or 2 meters 21?
With stepping stones into work, don't let disability stop you working.
I went to Glastonbury and I can't remember a thing.
Glastonbury, bring it on!
I must have been there, I'm covered in mud.
The best festival in history.
Now it's all coming back. Radiohead, Faithless, Morrissey, Primal Scream, Scissor Sisters, The Mud, The Mayhem, The Music.
Solstice. It's a label, man.
Glastonbury, the soundtrack to this year's 5-star Julian Temple film, out Monday.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant.
Nobody trained you in how to be caring and sensitive, and you didn't go to lessons to learn how to be kind and organised, which is exactly why Bupa want you to join their team of telephone member service advisors. You'll provide professional care and support for customers, helping them to understand their policy details and potential treatment choices. For more info and details on how to apply, call Bupa now on 01908 356 540 or visit bupamembershiprecruitment.com. You know running's good, and raising money, well, that feels great. But running and raising money? Now that's amazing. Running 10 kilometres for Cancer Research UK is a fantastic way to fundraise for the UK's leading cancer charity. Whether you're running because somebody close to you has been touched by cancer, or you just want to run and raise money at a spectacular venue, entry couldn't be simpler. To join us at Tafton Park on the 24th of September, visit cancerresearchuk10.co.uk. The Cancer Research UK 10K. Together, we will beat cancer.
Out of the saddle for 15 minutes now. I've been down through all 27 gears. I've nothing left. Thighs are on fire. It's all the fault of the decathlon sale.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock bottom prices, be careful. You could come in for a football shirt and leave a fully equipped cyclist. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale, just off junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the decathlon sale.
Oi, you lot done yet? Me and the girls are just putting the finishing touches to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre. Come on down and find out more about Rockwool Flexi, the fantastic multi-use insulation product with a unique flexible edge. You'll get a free bacon butty and a mug of tea just for turning up. And you could enter our lucky draw and win prizes worth a total of 15 grand. Can't be bad, can it?
Phil, we need you.
On my way. Oh, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Get down to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre.
If you claim incapacity benefit, but you want to get back to work, there are some questions you'd probably like answering. For example, what companies would employ me? And how will it affect my benefits? Then you've got the other issues, such as have I got the skills to go back to work? You may even lack the confidence to take that first step back into employment. Well, that's where Stepping Stones can help. Stepping Stones provides advice, training, workshops and financial incentives for anyone claiming incapacity benefit who wants to get back into work. You just need to do one simple thing. Give us a ring. Call Stepping Stones now. 0800 783 1080.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Well, we've had some very interesting responses to this evening's, frankly, somewhat unexpected discussion. James, this is from Dempst. James, you said after that woman had gone off, right, that you still haven't solved the problem. Well, the problem is quite simply ARPA. The solution is to nuke it. I can't even spell ARPA. It's that must read these through more thoroughly. Spanner Swirly Flow said the woman with the dysfunctional family demonstrates why just anyone should not be allowed to have children. The part of London where I live, next to the new stadium, is absolutely... What, Wembley or Arsenal? Anyway, is absolutely chocker with feral kids. Packs of up to 40 wild youngsters roam the streets all evening, causing mayhem. Last night, they were charging up the main Seven Sisters Road after being chased by the police. They loved it. Regards, Spanner. Oh, N7. Yeah, gotcha. Right, well, it's a theory I've had for some time that anyone who wants to adopt or foster a kid has to go through the most rigorous examination and scrutiny as regards their suitability. But any slack-jawed, drunken git can father or conceive a child with no questions asked. Isn't that odd? Doesn't that strike you as being the wrong way round? With the blessing of the establishment of the government and the church. Isn't Tyrone lovely? Oh, God, Megan Storm. And what sort of council house would you like when you're up the stick at 17? A pink one or a blue one? This is more like it. Derek Piero says, my son had behavioural problems, so I grafted a miniature camera and some electrodes into his head. Now I can see if he's up to no good and administer electric shocks accordingly. I would recommend this course of action to anyone. Thank you. And there's also a lengthy, and it would appear rather serious one there. So, Although it does contain the word brats, so it's promising. It's not altogether worthy and do-goody. Trevor in Wythenshawe, where do you stand, if anywhere, on this situation?
Hello, James. Can you hear me?
Hello, Trevor. You're on Key 103. I gave you a slick intro there so you could come straight back at me.
That's right. Can you hear me clear enough? Because I'm on the loudspeaker. Is that okay?
You're on the loudspeaker?
On my loudspeaker on my phone. Is that okay?
Fine.
Good. I switched my radio on at 10:30.
Why?
Pardon?
Why?
Why? Because I just got in from work.
Why weren't you listening on the way?
I was longing to listen to your droning voice.
Why were you listening at 10 o'clock? Why were you listening on the way home?
I don't got a radio in my car.
Well, get one.
Well, I don't want one because if I get one, somebody will try and rob it.
Well, I was going to say, in Wythenshawe, you can get one.
Well, hello.
You'll probably get one for two quid.
Look, let's not get off the subject.
All right.
I switched my radio on and listened to Lindsay. I thought she was a wonderful lady and she had a lot of interesting points.
You listen to the right station?
Yeah, I think so. Listen, a quote from you whilst you were talking to Lindsay.
Yeah.
You said teachers are trained to teach.
Yeah.
Now the thing is there not something wrong with the educational system? Maybe teachers should be trained to do more than just teach, because parents in general, maybe single parents or whatever, but parents have got enough to do looking after the kids. Is it not possible that maybe we should set aside...
Wait a minute.
No, please don't interrupt. Right. Is it not possible we could set aside another section of education to deal with behavioural problems so that you can walk out into the streets and not get accosted by 13 and 14-year-olds?
Well, yeah, I mean, a number of bodies are responsible for that.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, well, there's the police, for a start, who are supposed to go around rounding up kids who aren't in school.
Supposed to.
Yeah. There are parents...
It's not really making an awful lot of difference, is it, James?
No, it's not. Did you read about the percentage of truants that are truanting with their parents' assent?
Lovely. Brings me on to another topic.
Right.
Completely... connected with the same principle. How is it that we find parents such as Lindsay? I'm going to keep on Lindsay's case because she sounds like you said that she's doing all she can to keep her kids
I didn't say that. I said she probably wants a favourable outcome. Whether she's doing all she can is another matter.
And what happens if she doesn't get a favourable outcome, although she wants a favourable outcome? What happens is she might find herself locked up for truancy, or, well, mainly truancy, isn't it? It's like your kids are off a certain amount of time, and you end up in nick. I mean, where's the justice in that?
Well, I actually, on a serious note, and on an entirely serious note, she said, I mean, when she talks about putting the kids in a taxi, I did feel one of those what is the world coming to moments approaching, but she's sending them there. She is making them go. She's not allowing them to truant. She's not collaborating in their... She's not conniving in their truancy. Really, if she's done everything she can, then she's in the clear as regards that. If the kids...
Yes, she's not, though, is she?
Well, she's taking them to school.
No, she's sending them to school. Okay, and how many times have we heard about the idea that kids turn up for school, get the mark, and then they go anywhere they bloody well like?
Right. Well, the parent, in all fairness, the parent can't be held responsible for that.
Yeah, but that parent is held responsible, though, aren't they?
In a case such as that, no. If the child is truanting with your knowledge, and you are acquiescing, then you're in trouble. If the child's doing one without your knowledge, then you can't be held responsible for that.
And where does the proof lie?
Well, if the teacher, if the school reports that they are truanting, that they're turning up for the register and then disappearing, and they can establish it, then the kid is in trouble. But But then a long process begins. But again, that needs all sorts of people getting involved, doesn't it? You've got to prove it. They've got, the police are going around looking for kids who are truanting.
Well, lovely. Well, what a waste of a lot of people's time.
Well, exactly.
Which brings me back to my original point of, okay, let's send the kids to school, and if they are misbehaving, rather than send them home, let's send them to Section B, where they get behavioural tuition.
Well, this does go on, but I'm sure someone will come on very, very shortly and say that type of establishment is being underfunded, the places are being reduced, some of them are being closed down, and so on and so forth.
Maybe they're just not being opened up, James, in the way that they should be.
Well, there are these places where you get intense, you get a very high teacher-pupil ratio. You get all this sort of thing, and they reckon it saves money in the long term because it stops kids becoming criminals when the remedial work is much more expensive than preventative work, and so on and so forth. But I'm sure I read somewhere actually that kind of establishment is being funding is being withdrawn, and the places are being shut down.
Sorry. Well, yeah, but I mean, do you know these places?
No, no.
Do they exist?
Well,
do they really exist?
I'm assured that they do.
You're sure, but James, you know everything.
Yeah, I do.
Well, tell me, where are they? Because
there's one behind you, look out!
Say what?
It's alright, it's gone.
No, come on, you can see my point, James.
Of course,
okay.
Listen.
You're in class number 1. Go to class number 2.
Right. Yeah, of course. You have to go to another school.
You have to go to another class.
Yeah, eventually you're placed in another school, but you are asked to offer your resignation. Shut up! Okay. You are asked to tender your resignation. Then you don't go to the new school with the stigma of having been thrown out of your other. I tell you what.
Why get thrown out? Why not be just directed with barriers or whatever to the next room where you get behavioural instruction and it's drummed into you, and somehow it turns you into the type of person that can reattend the initial class that you were in. What is the problem? What is the difficulty?
It's supposed to happen. There is supposed to be the staff available who will take kids who at one time, and in my view probably justifiably still, would be put on the straight and narrow with a good hiding. They will take them and address their behavioural difficulties and all this sort of thing. And to be fair, turn them into something like law-abiding, worthwhile citizens. Probably not going to make a tremendous contribution.
How is this going to happen, James?
Well, that's what I say. If these places are available and enough money is being provided to keep them running. But from what I understand, and I remain confident that someone will let me know very shortly, because this sort of thing generally kicks off. Believe it or not, Trevor, believe it or not, shut up, Trevor, believe it or not. You know, we were just talking about some people shouldn't be allowed to have children.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, almost all the people who listen to this show are allowed to have children. You wouldn't believe that, would you?
I'd like you to further explain it. I'm not quite understanding what you're saying.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it. When you listen to them, just remember, there's nothing we can do to stop these people reproducing. Nothing legal. Nothing legal, anyway.
Okay, I want to stay before you cut me off, because I'm getting the feeling you're going to.
Do you know, I was. Isn't that funny?
Right. Well, please don't for a moment, right? I want to stay with my original point of Lindsay, because she was a fabulous person. She was doing everything that she could.
Well, we've done all this. Go on.
I know we have. Well, I just want to reiterate, because the point is, it's.
Too late, mumbling. I don't want you reiterating anyway. Reiterating is just a posh way of saying the same thing over again. That was Trevor in Wythenshawe. Is it time for another? Oh, yes, it is. Right. How did this happen? I've no idea. Just one of those things. Right. If you've just joined us, I've no idea. No idea why. No idea why this happened. But there we are. We've approached the evening, the start of a new week, with an open mind and a light heart, and this is where we've finished up. But there again, it's entirely up to you. Sometimes you make the decision. It doesn't have to be the right one. It's hardly likely to be. But there we are. Oh, just remind me of something I meant to read to you. If I can find it. This is quite nice, yeah. Oh, there's a lot of communications here about clothing for some reason. Okay. Hang on, I will... Yeah. No, that's offensive. That's offensive. Can't find it. Oh, hellfire. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have rehearsed this one. Oh, yeah, here it is. Mark in Wigan says, James, did you see Zidane's headbutt earlier? Didn't that Italian make a meal of it? I'm not even sure that there was contact. And I thought a red card was a bit harsh. It certainly brightened up the game, though. That's how football should be played. Yeah, well, of course it should. We like a bit of that, don't we? A bit of, a bit of get in there. Of course we do. Right, where are we going next? We're going to Hyde in a second. You can talk about anything you want, really. That's the theory. On 0161 288 0103. But as you'll have noticed, I'm a fierce and attentive arbiter. I shift. That's what I do. I shift the content. So prepare to be shifted. 0161 288 0103.
Set the tread now to 5k. Done 3. Feels like 30. Legs are jelly. Lungs are burning. And it's all down to the decathlon sale.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock bottom prices, be careful. You could come in for some tennis balls and leave with a fully equipped gym. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale, just off Junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the decathlon sale.
If you still need to send back your tax credits renewal form, do it now. Why? Well, a new earlier deadline of August the 31st means it makes sense to get it out of the way before the kids break up for summer. If you prefer, you can renew over the phone by calling 0845 300 3900. So don't put it off. Return your form or call us now. Otherwise, your payments could stop. Tax credits from Revenue and Customs. Renew now and make sure you're right on the money.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
11:15 it is. Don't let me forget to remind you about Stanley Smith from Davium. It's a cracker. Actually, I'll just show it. Jack can come here and read it when she's got a free minute, which is frankly most of the time. Damien in Hyde. Damien.
Hello, James. How are you doing?
Damien, you're on Key 103. Get
right.
Reeving.
About teachers in schools.
Yeah.
I think the government made one big mistake when they got rid of the cane.
Go on. One big mistake.
Well, that's one of the big mistakes. But
go on.
Yeah. Kids aren't scared of teachers anymore. You remember, at school, you were frightened to death of getting that cane across your hands.
To be honest with you, and I'm being serious now, I don't think I was. What I was frightened of, quite apart from the fact that some of our teachers were monsters. I mean, everybody looks big when you're 5, don't they?
Yeah.
Everyone looks gigantic. But I'm sure they were a bit peculiar, some of these people. Anyway, now the thing was that teachers, and somehow this, I assumed it. I assumed that teachers were figures of authority, and B, were responsible people.
Yeah, they should be, and they're supposed to be nowadays, but they're not anymore.
Well, I mean, you may feel that that both sides of the argument have deteriorated here, but certainly my attitude was, right, you're going to school, you start school tomorrow, and there'll be a teacher there, and you do what the teacher says. Okay, fair enough. It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's broadly speaking what happened. Now, at what stage it goes wrong to produce some of the toe rags that we have these days, I don't know. I'm sure there were dead legs. I mean, how old are you, Damien?
I'm 19, but my English teacher had a cane.
19?
I'm 19.
19?
Hang on. My English teacher had a cane when I was at high school. Now, we knew it was illegal for him to use it.
Yeah.
But we still behaved in class, because you never knew if he was going to jump up and hit you with it, because he looked like one of those sort of people.
So
the way teachers are supposed to be.
Right, you're making out a very strong case now for the welfare of our young children to be placed in the hands of violent psychopaths.
No,
if that, you didn't seriously believe that. If that teacher had hit you with a cane, then that would have been the end of his or her teaching career.
But that's not the point I'm getting at. Now, teachers are scared of the kids, well, the parents, and what's going to happen if they do something. If they discipline the kid, they think, right, the parent's going to come in and they're going to have me. Oh, I know, it does. It certainly does happen. And some of the parents that you see coming in, you wish they hadn't been born as well. Yeah. Frankly, because the world would be a better place if they had not. I wonder, you know, and I'm surprised to hear a 19-year-old talking in this way, because normally it's the people, you know, coffin dodgers who complain that nothing's like it used to be and there was no violence during the war and all that sort of thing. What's brought you to this point of view? Because are you a responsible young personage, Damien? Well, was married. I have a 7-month-old daughter and another one on the way. I work full-time, and I work, well, all the hours under the sun. You're 19? I'm 19. You've packed a lot in, haven't you? Well, yeah. Yeah. Oh, all right, okay, fine. So, I mean, some people would say that having 2 kids by the age of 19 is not exactly not the best role model that young people could have. Well, it depends, doesn't it? If you're willing to go out and work hard and make a good example for your kids, then that's all right. But if you're mucking about on the streets and you'd rather go and drink with your friends or go and nick a car, then it's a completely different matter. All right, fair enough. Now, what do you think? Did you behave yourself at school? Yeah. Right. Did you occasionally think, you sometimes say to your mum, or by the sound of things to your wife, I don't feel like going into school today? How old were you when you got married? Just before my 18th birthday. So really, it's not out of the question that they could have got a phone call at school saying, hello, Damien won't be in today. He's got an upset tummy. He's got sickness and diarrhea all over the place. Say, all right, is that his mother speaking? No, it's his wife. No. Is that possible? No, I was 16 when I left school. All right, okay then. I wonder if that's ever happened. I never actually had a day off school. Right, I'm just wondering if that's ever happened. If someone's rung up school and said it's his wife here, he won't be in. He won't have his homework ready. I don't know. I don't suppose it can be ruled out, can it? No, not these days it can't. Mind you, in Wythenshawe, I believe they ring in and say she won't be in. She won't be in for geography today. She's at the antenatal. Yeah. Yeah. So why do you think you behaved yourself, whereas I'm sure there were some of your contemporaries who didn't? Because I saw the teachers as an authority figure. Why is that? Well, I went to school because I wanted to learn. That was the reason I stayed at school. That was the reason I didn't get in with the wrong crowd. Kids these days, they want to muck about, they want to have fun. They're just trying to grow up too quickly. So you behaved yourself? I behaved myself. I was what people would have called a geek. Right. Were there not times when you said, as everyone's done in their usually in their teenage years, do I have to? No, I don't want to do that. I did do, but I'm glad I went through school. Oh, well, what a very fine calibre of person we're attracting. This is very... Everyone has their odd days when they think, well, I don't want to go to work, or I don't want to go to school, I don't want to do this, I don't want to get out of bed. But we all do. And at the end of the day, most of us are glad that we did it. But there are those people that don't do it, and they end up stuck on the dole. Well, yeah, I mean, they're going to be a waste of time. I mean, a very good idea. And I know Adolf Hitler has his detractors, but
he did get one or two things right. He's the Nazi National Socialist Party's, National Socialist Workers' Party, economic policies were basically Keynesian and very, very sound. Some of his more philosophical extravagances, we couldn't possibly condone. But there was one, which I've often thought should be introduced in this country, is that they used to get people from the Slav parts of Europe. Did you know this?
No.
You know, Poles and Serbs and all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I have them in for an interview. And what they didn't know was that there was a machine under the desk bombarding their genitals with X-rays while they were talking to them. And they were sterilised when they left the room. Oh, they might have been. They didn't know. The device was somewhat primitive, and they weren't altogether sure of the long-term effects of it. But there was a good chance they were sterilised. If not, they'd die of radiation poisoning.
Should put them at the signing-on desk at the job centre.
Absolutely, they should have them in the social, shouldn't they?
Yep.
They should have one under every seat. And I tell you what, who would have been right behind that idea, because he was a great believer in it. Britain's finest Prime Minister ever, Winston Spencer Churchill. He thought we could breed out the undesirables.
That's it. If you can't work and support your kids and have a family, then don't bother.
Right. Compulsory vasectomy, perhaps with, a captive bolt, or some sort of ray, or something like that, or some device, or a game of five-a-side with Wayne Rooney, something guaranteed to reduce the effectiveness of your testicles. Brilliant. Do you know, it's only a matter of time. I can feel that trip to Sweden coming on. I can feel me fingers closing round the trophy. Ooh, that's better. And that cheque for £750,000. Then I can kick this in the head. Excellent. That's better. Right, 25 past 11. Dean in Denton. Dean, you're on Key 103. What can we do for you?
You all right, James?
I are.
You okay?
Yes,
Listen,
yes.
First of all, that woman, is it Lindsay?
Well, I don't know. What is it?
Yeah, that woman that was on about her kids.
Yeah?
Lindsay.
Yeah.
She's disgraceful. She's just downright. She's just got no response. She doesn't want responsibility for her kids unless they're inside her four walls. She sees that everybody else has responsibility for her kids once they're out of her house, like the police or the council or the lollipop lady or the man in the shop when they go to the shop. Everybody's got responsibility for her kids but her. She'll blame anybody for her kids' behaviour when they're outside of the house.
I did feel an element of that. Again, Dick, you only sound young.
35, mate.
35? Oh, well,
yeah.
You're not young then, are you?
I've got 5 children.
Right.
And the eldest one is 15, and he's actually something of that ilk.
Is he going a bit feral?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
to say the least.
What have you thought of doing then?
Well, there's not much I can do. I've not been in his life for. Well, he didn't know I was his dad until he was 13. So I suppose some of that might have something to do with it.
Oh, but, hey, we're in Tricia territory now, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah.
Hey. But, no, so there's not much I can do about it, but I don't know. I really don't know. I've tried to speak to him, but... And this is what brings me on to what I found up about that woman, when that woman was talking. Kids nowadays know what they're doing, and they know when to jump, when to sit down, and when not to, because it all is something to their benefit. And they'll bow that. They'll tell you what they want you to hear. Kids aren't stupid nowadays. Kids aren't naive like they were when I was growing up.
Right,
They've seen too much, and they know too much, and they've heard too much.
So kids know more than is good for them. Kids know too much. If they know too much, they've become
clever. they're a lot cleverer than we were, mentally. Or psychologically, should I say. As in manipulating your parents or manipulating certain circumstances or certain situations to your benefit without actually anybody else actually realising. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
And I think that...
not many of them appear to be cleverer.
No, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You understand the point that I'm trying to make.
I do. I can't understand. Have you got any explanation, again, as to... You see, we might have the secret. We might have the secret right here in our hands.
I grew up in Denton with a bunch of lads, and I was one of the local scallies, should I say, in the early 80s. And a lot of my friends, round about that time, a lot of them, when they was 13 and 14, were in a place called Hyde Unit. It was a unit, but that is taken away from the school itself. It's just a classroom. It's probably a prefab building where they get special education and special treatment and this, that and the other. And half the time, they spend half the days out at roller skating when we had wheels in Ashton, the roller skating alley in Ashton, or bowling or somewhere.
Or go-karting. Well, all the kids who behave themselves are having to do algebra.
Exactly. And this didn't... I mean, a couple of years ago, they carried on as if this was a new thing when people were going on... But it wasn't. It wasn't. It was going on when I was a kid. When my mates had come home from school and were talking about school, and so I had rugby today, or I had RE, or whatever. I went to Aldershot, and that was a tough school. And my mate, we went go-karting, or we went, like you say, we went this, that, and the other. But they're being taken, I think they're being taken out of mainstream activities far too early sometimes, and being excluded from that because of that. And then they become, these units, or these the children inside them, become like little universities of crime, like, minor crime at that age, just like jail does. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think that they're spending far too much time in that environment. And when they go on, they're spending a couple of hours inside the house, eating, getting a bollocking off the mum, and then going out. And then they're back in that little environment again.
Well, a lot of people spend a lot of time and a lot of our money discussing the best thing to do here.
I went to jail when I was 17. And that was for the very first crime. But it was a fight. I got into a fight, and I went to jail when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was growing up, a lot of my mates have been sent to jail when they was like 13 and 14, and I thought that was scandalous. I couldn't believe it, and I was fortunate enough to have. I think it does boil down to your parentage. It does, and what goes on inside your four walls. And I was fortunate to have enough to have an excellent mum, and that's all I had, my mum.
Well, clearly, there is... So you were, what is nowadays described as a lone parent family, which is thought to be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Oh, my mum went out to work day in, day out while we was kids. We was getting dressed, me and my sister ourselves, getting dressed while my mum went to work at 8 o'clock. We was getting dressed and going to school ourselves and coming home. Now, if that was happening today, there'd be uproar, there'd be murders and everything, there'd be this, that and the other. But that's what me and my sister did. And my mum went out to work day in, day out and worked her thing. My mum's a living, she's 70, and her body's wrecked because of the work she used to do.
Well, I tell you what, I know a lad who's, I think he's 19 now. And you're lucky if he gets out of bed. And his mother works, and when she gets home after a day's work and he's been in bed all day, do you know what's the first thing she does?
No.
Takes him a cup of tea up.
Shit. No way.
Honestly, I've seen
I know, it just beggars belief, doesn't it?
I've seen it happen.
It beggars belief, it really does.
If she doesn't, he shouts down for one.
Well, Well, my mum, I remember, I'm old enough to remember and to be able to talk about it. My mum had a hysterectomy when me and my sister was at school, and we needed somebody to look after us while she went. So we went into a foster parents for like 2 weeks or something.
Right.
But my school was actually near my home, and it was on the my school was actually a couple of streets away from my house, and the teacher, while my mum was in bed at home, and I was still at the foster parents, my teachers had let me go home in my dinner hour and make my mum something to eat and take it upstairs to her. My mum, the teachers used to let me do that.
Yeah, I've got the picture. Well, different days, although in one, I mean, Dean, you sound like I would have thought you'd have been, speaking to Charlie Chester or something like that, but no, what do you say, you're 35?
35 now, 35.
Yeah. I mean, I know most kids of 15 think anyone who's 35's got 1 foot, at least one foot in the grave.
He used to walk, I was surprised, he used to walk 5 paces in front of me because look at the way you dressed, and I thought, I'm quite trendy really.
Yeah, well, I can explain that. It's like music. What happens is that you think you're keeping up, but you gradually fall that little bit further behind, and then one day, the first day you put the radio on, you say, "What's this?" You know the game's up then. It's all over. That's the end of it. Dean, you got to go, son, because we've got a lot of Hillmans on this evening. We're going to Oldham next. 0161 288 0103 is the number on the Key 103. I've still got to tell you about Stanley Smith. I'm determined to do it, actually, but because it's a cracker. But we better do some of these and then talk to Laura. Well, we'll do some of these and then I'll see how I feel, because I am like that. I'm just a creature of impulse.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
She should be entitled to it no matter what the cost. She should be entitled to it on the NHS.
With Stepping Stones. See steppingstonesintowork.info. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. The false alarms are over. We're not playing at it anymore. Next time we do it is for real. We'll give away £25,000 cash. We've logged the songs into the computer. The timer is running. The countdown is on. Very soon we'll play the Sugar Babes Push the Button, Madonna's Like a Prayer, and the Stereophonics Handbags and Glad Rags. When we do, we'll pay out £25,000. Key 103's £25,000 triple play is getting closer and closer.
I went to Glastonbury and I can't remember a thing.
Glastonbury, bring it on!
I must have been there, I'm covered in mud.
The best festival in history.
Now it's all coming back. Radiohead, Faithless, Morrissey, Primal Scream, Scissor Sisters, The Mud, The Mayhem, The Music.
Solstice. It's a label, man.
Glastonbury, the soundtrack to this year's 5-star Julian Temple film, out Monday.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant.
Out of the saddle for 15 minutes now. I've been down through all 27 gears. I've nothing left. Thighs are on fire. It's all the fault of the decathlon sail.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock bottom prices, be careful, you could come in for a football shirt and leave a fully equipped cyclist. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale, just off junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the decathlon sale.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Listen, I'm going to do a bit of an Esther Ranson here, because irrespective of the interruption of the flow, I must tell you this, because this is an absolute cracker, this. And I make I shall pretend nothing other. It's out the local paper, this, but this is brilliant. Remember, it was in a local paper that the story of Banjo the Clown, who, in between being a clown, operated as a hired assassin. Or, no, actually didn't, because he was found not guilty. But anyway, see what I mean? That's where that one came from, and that went national. Banjo the Hitman Clown. Anyway, listen to this. This is a cracker, this. This is a bloke, Stanley Smith. 75-year-old Stanley Smith was found pedalling along the M60 for more than 12 hours as he cycled round Greater Manchester trying to find his way home. He left home in Davyhulme at about 11 a.m. When was this, by the way? Oh, the other day. He left home in Davyhulme at about 11 a.m., took a wrong turn, ended up in Warrington, before turning round and heading home, back east. Hours later, motorists near Prestwich witnessed the retired salesman pedalling along the hard shoulder of the motorway. When he got home and reached his front door, his wife Audrey was waiting for him. It was nearly midnight. He'd been out of the house for 12 hours, and the mileometer on his bike showed that he had travelled 112 miles. Greater Manchester... Oh, it just goes on and on and on. He said, I got a little bit lost after I left home and decided to follow two blokes who were up ahead of me, but then they cycled away and I was left on my own. Stanley remembers seeing a swing aqueduct, probably the Barton Aqueduct, taking the Bridgewater Canal across the Manchester Ship Canal at Eccles. He says, then I can remember a very wide road and two policemen telling me that I could get a £30 fine because I was cycling along the motorway. Greater Manchester Police records show that Stanley told officers he'd cycled up the East Lancs Road, somehow got onto the M60 at Worsley, before pedalling uphill 3 miles to Prestwich, where he was escorted off. This is the good bit. He seemed to know his way home from there, so the road traffic officers allowed him to carry on. When he was a mile away from home, the exhausted pensioner was knocked off his bike by a passing car. He was found lying by the side of the road by a kind-hearted taxi driver. God, that narrows it down a bit. By a kind-hearted taxi driver who picked him up and gave him a lift home. That's not bad, is it, eh? Is your cycling proficiency, is that a bit like your driving licence? Shouldn't you have to take it again when you reach a certain age? Well, that's Laura in Oldham. She might know. Laura?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're on Key 103?
Hiya.
Oh, yeah. How old are you?
15, and I'm called Laura, not Laurie.
Who?
Well, I'm called Laura.
Laura?
Yeah.
I just said Laura.
No, you said Laurie.
I didn't. I'm talking about Stanley on the bike.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, I was listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was ringing up about teenage pregnancy.
Oh, right. Are you, in the,
Yeah, I'm pregnant myself.
At, 15?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll keep it talking.
Yeah.
You ring the police. Sorry, go on.
It was happening, wasn't it? And if a condom manufacturer's company did the condom properly, I wouldn't be pregnant now.
Yes, that's right. It's somebody else's fault. That's what we find in most cases of everything that goes wrong in life, Laura. It's somebody else's fault.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you are, having illegal sexual intercourse, and what happens?
Get pregnant.
You get pregnant. There we are.
No, I was just saying, because...
All the London Rubber Company's fault, eh? Probably Richard Branson.
No, I was
you might be able to sue him.
I was ringing up to make a point.
Oh, yes.
Because I go to a school now while I'm pregnant, and what it is, I still have really bad morning sickness.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, I'm 5 months gone, so it should have gone by now, but it hasn't. But they like make me go in at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's just like, gets to me. Do you know what I mean?
It gets to you?
Yeah.
Well, don't bother then. That's my advice after all, Laura. Why should you take any notice of anything anybody says? You've already demonstrated the wisdom of ignoring the advice of others, and at 15 years of age you're up the stick. So that's certainly put one over on them.
Yeah.
So the next thing I would do is ignore the advice of... whose advice should we ignore next?
At 15.
Eh?
The new was perfect at 15.
Well, I wasn't pregnant.
I know, you couldn't have been pregnant, could you, really? You're a man.
Oh, God, oh, God, I walked straight into that one.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's getting to you because you're vomiting when you should be doing the, studying the rainfall of Australia.
Amazon.
Okay, then, fine. Hey, I wasn't far away, though, was I?
No.
Not me. Right. So, well, you see, What's the best thing to do, Elo? Why don't you carry on vomiting?
Yeah.
Neglect your education.
Yeah.
Come out of school with no qualifications.
No, well.
Sign on. Spend the rest of your life pushing a pram up through Chadderton and back.
Yeah.
That's just a guess. It could be Glodick. I've no idea where.
Shoulder.
Oh, right. Oh, even better. Right. Backwards and forwards with your hair scraped back and no tights on. And you can spend the rest of your life doing that.
No, I'll come and visit you when I get my paw.
No, you'll do no such thing.
Yeah.
I'll put some garlic down or something. Look, how the hell did you get pregnant when you were 15?
Pardon?
How did you get pregnant when you were 15?
Well, just...
You decided
condom.
you fancied a bit of the old favourite.
Pardon?
Oh.
No, it just happened. I used protection, so really, that's what it's for.
It didn't just happen. It didn't just happen. How old is the young gentleman who's inseminated you?
It's a bit private, that. It's a bit of a personal question.
Well, how old he is?
Yeah.
Well, yes, I know it's personal, but it's not exactly... He's not going to be the only person who's 17 3/4, is he? Listening.
No. He's listening now.
Right.
And so are all his family and my family, so...
Right, well, you don't have to tell us his name or his postcode or anything.
He's 19.
He's 19. So he's broken the law.
Yep.
Right,
But then again, so have I. So...
Actually, we were talking about that, whether in fact you have.
Yeah.
I suppose it's a bit much to expect you to know if you have, but... Right, we were talking about this, weren't we? Hang on, I think she's in delay.
No, I'm alright, I'm listening.
Yeah, no, I'm talking to somebody else, but there's nothing happening. Nothing's registering.
Yeah.
Are you hearing me in real time? Were we talking about this the other night? Whether it is... It's alright, I'm just conferring with the backroom staff. Whether she is breaking the law. Well, no, it's no good asking me, I'm asking you. Right. We were wondering, I don't know whether you've taken legal advice on this.
Yeah.
Right. Whether you are in fact breaking the law to, give it the old,
yeah. Well, I must admit...
PC Floppy hides his helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I must admit, I am like 15. I've seen 12-year-olds have twins and that. You know what I mean? I'm not exactly... I'm a year under the age limit. It's not as if, like, I'm 10. Do you know what I mean? I've got a mind of my own. I can think for myself. I've got a lot of things sorted out already. And, like, there's a lot of people could back me up on that. I've got a friend, actually, now, who's got 3 children under the age of 3. And, to be honest, she doesn't have no problems at all, except for just the coping physically.
How old is she?
She's, like, 22.
She's 23?
So it's, like, a bit different.
Well, you
see... She's 24.
Yeah, 23, 24. I think you are entitled. I mean, in Victorian times, you'd probably have had 6 children by the time you're 23. And it is, to be fair, in those days, people did break the law as regards, and also certain conventions as regards having sexual intercourse. Yeah. So it's not as if we can particularly point the finger at you, except, of course, that somebody involved, you're not going to tell me this 19-year-old lad hasn't got a television and doesn't read the newspapers and listen to the radio. He knows that it's illegal, the age of consent.
But if what it is, right, I don't see why people at the age of 15 have got to be told whether they can or can't have sex or not. At the end of the day, it's up to them. They're the ones having sex, not the governors or whoever makes the law up, do you know what I mean? If that 15-year-old says, I don't want sex, then fair enough.
Right,
you know what I mean?
And you say this from the point of view of a 15-year-old who obviously did want to have sex.
But I'll say this until I'm the age of 30, because
okay.
At the end of the day, if my daughter at 15 came up to me and said I was pregnant, then yeah, I'd be mad. Any parent would be mad, but at the end of the day, it's their choice. You can't exactly turn around and say, you've got to do this and you've got to do that.
Oh, well,
if you tell them to do one thing, they'll go and do the next thing down your back.
Yeah, well, it's my choice is the easy way out of everything. Every occasion on which you're required to observe some sort of rules and regulations, it's my choice not to do so. It's my body and all this. However, would you say that all your 15-year-old friends are as equally savvy as yourself?
What do you mean by savvy?
As sorted out?
No. In the head. like, mature?
Yes.
No.
No.
Not all of them. I've got a few mature friends.
Some, but not all.
But some, like, are still in the...
Okay, but in your view, you, a particular 15-year-old, were in a position to do this?
Think.
And therefore the law should not tell you?
No.
Right, okay. What about 14-year-olds?
It depends. Well, not all 13, 14 is going under the age of a teenager. Because at the end of the day, people say when you're 13, you become a teenager.
No, it's not. No. 13 and 14 are teenagers, because they've got teen at the end.
Yeah, but when you're 15, you're coming on to 16, you get in your own mind, and as you know, you're growing up, you start doing GCSEs, but when you're 13, you're just starting, when you're 12, 13, you're still at the beginning of puberty and school and that, and it's just like, do you know what I mean? You're not ready for all that, but when you're 15, you turn on to 16. You might not be 18, but you're still getting there.
So the law says 16, but you disagree?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't disagree, because I can understand where they're coming from making an age for it, because obviously you're going to have to make an age for that sort of thing. It's the law.
So, exactly, so where do we make the age? I know, why don't we ask you? Why don't we get you to personally interview every schoolgirl who wants to have sex?
Yeah.
What a brilliant idea.
I could tell you one thing.
Go on.
A lot of my friends are obviously my age, and if I turn around and ask them, or obviously they tell me things themselves, do you want sex or do you have sex? The majority of them would say, yeah, I'll have sex when I'm ready and not when the law tells me to. Because at the end of the day, if you tell a child not to smoke, they're going to turn around behind your back and smoke. And if you say to them, there's a cigarette at 15, try one, then they might turn around and say, no, I don't want one. It's like...
See, she's too precocious for her own good, you see. If I were running the place, the secret police would deal with her. Oh, yes. She'd get a bullet in the back of the head one dark night. That's the way of sorting these things out. Who was that? That was Laura in Oldham. I did say Laura. I definitely said Laura. It's 11 minutes to midnight. I don't know whether we should have a... We're gonna have a meal shortly. I've no idea what's going on. Are we going to the email desk shortly? In a minute, yeah. Okay, in a minute then. Thank you. 0161 288 0103. Oh, we've had a joke. It's the first joke we've had since October, I think, isn't it? Right. Dave in Swinton. Joke of the night. I'm sad to report the police have raided my house and seized all my copies of Treasure Island. I'm being done for having pirate DVDs. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, sure. Ha, ha, ha. This is the bit where Jackie says, that's rubbish. Well, I'm sure she's thinking it. Thank you. Keep 'em coming. Right, listen to these, and then we'll probably talk to Helen in Saddleworth, and we'll go to the email desk, and I'm not sure in what order, or for how long. In fact, I'm not really sure about anything.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
I think my dad might be getting an house bill for living here, just for living in this house, which is how crazy the world is.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work.
You know running's good, and raising money, well, that feels great. But running and raising money? Now that's amazing. Running 10 kilometres for Cancer Research UK is a fantastic way to fundraise for the UK's leading cancer charity. Whether you're running because somebody close to you has been touched by cancer, or you just want to run and raise money at a spectacular venue, entry couldn't be simpler. To join us at Tatton Park on the 24th of September, visit cancerresearchuk10.co.uk. The Cancer Research UK 10K. Together, we will beat cancer.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right, I've got a massive email here from Warrington, which is I know you mean well, but I'm not reading out emails this long. Pithy. Keep them pithy. The pithier the better. If you can make them pithy, I'll read them at this end. What was I going to say? They've got a new series. You know this theory I have that the people are losing the ability to pronounce the letter R. And it's all the work of the BBC. It's all quite Darwinian, because everyone who can't pronounce the letter R gets a job at the BBC, and they breed. And I won't go into. It's all to do with dominant genes and what have you. But gradually, people who can pronounce the letter R are being bred out. And the BBC will eventually employ so many people that people who can pronounce the letter R will become extinct. That's what's happening. And the latest is a new series of Hands on Nature, it's called. Now, I like my nature programmes. You know, natural history and limestone pavements and all that sort of thing, bog myrtle. I like a fritillary. So I'm watching it, you see. Anyway, I can't remember the names now. I'll look them up for you. But these two blokes, they've already done one series, and I thought that when another one wasn't immediately forthcoming, I thought, well, I know why. But it seemed they were just getting one ready, so they're back. And they've got two blokes who can't pronounce the letter R. And it's not like nearly. It's not like having a stab at it. It's not like saying V. You know, some people get railway. They're really having a go. They're trying to do it, but it's not on. V. This is a complete W. A total W. And this bloke says, now next week, he says, we'll be looking at a wildlife reserve. And it's like a... He said, where they've got all kinds of birds on this reserve. From, he says, I'm thinking, oh, please. He says, from weed warblers to herons. Oh, God. And then he said something, I can't remember what it was, but it was just completely wrong. So, and anyway, then his mate comes on, and he's as bad. So I thought, oh, I can't be doing with this. I'm sick of it. So we'll be walking round the reservoir. It's awful. I thought, right, I've had enough of this. Right, I'm getting rid of this. So I switched over to something. And guess who? I'm not making this up. Switched it over to something else. Who's walking up a hill towards me? Lisping and slavering all over the show. Ben Fogle. I've listened very carefully. I can't even work out what his impediment is. But it's certainly lisping and other things as well. How did he manage it? Helen in Saddleworth. Do you know the one I mean, Helen?
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm rotten. I'm feeling rotten.
Okay. No, it was about...
I'm feeling rotten.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm feeling totally wank.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Okay. It was sort of...
sorry, that was just like my speech impediment at work.
Yeah. It was sort of about what you were saying about no resources for, no funding for education and special learning difficulties. It's been a real fight for my niece, really. She's got dyspraxia, and
what she got?
Dyspraxia.
Which is dyspraxia?
It's to do with muscle coordination and some learning disabilities and things.
Right.
And anyway, we've sort of the whole family have taken the Education Authority to court, and we've finally won the battle to get extra help, but there isn't any funding at all for extra help for children with these things.
Right, so this is a disability rather than just being a git.
Yes, it's a disability.
Yeah.
But even for a disability, there isn't any funding whatsoever.
I'm sorry, I'm listening very seriously, but I've just noticed Jackie's got the most enormous hanging Harry up a nostril.
Right.
It's a whopper. She's just leaned over there to adjust something for me, for which I'm very grateful, don't misunderstand me. But it's gargantuan.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a wonder you can breathe.
Is it gorgeous?
Oh, no, it's a big... Which one? On the starboard one, I think. This one? Yeah, get right up there. Use your nail. Sorry, Helen, are you there? Yes, I'm sorry, it's just the sight of it was, astounded me.
Did it?
She's flaring now. Yeah, all clear. My God, it's a wonder you couldn't feel it.
How is Jackie? Is she okay there?
Oh, she's better than nothing. Embarrassed. Most of it's gone. Sorry, it's on the port side. Anyway. Oh, do you know, I feel a bit bilious now. Anyway, go on, yeah.
You feel bilious?
Yeah, well, you know, I was thinking about it.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah. I dread to think she could be brewing up and anything could... Oh.
Could fall in you.
Yes, I know.
Yes, oh, isn't that awful?
I know what I meant to ask you.
I
was just thinking, that just made me think then of, that, you know that You've Been Framed? There's one where a kid sneezes.
Yeah.
And two great, about the size of ping pong balls they are.
Ping pong balls?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
One comes out of each nostril. Like that. Big number 11. Like that. Shum. But it made me wonder that. I watch it now that You've Been Framed. And is it just the one... There's just one of them, one programme, isn't there? And they keep showing all the same clips but in a different order.
Oh, I don't normally watch that programme.
Oh, it makes me laugh.
Oh, does it make you laugh?
Well, especially when old people are falling over. Trying to save themselves, you know. But the more I watch it, the more I think, I'm sure I've seen that one before. But it wasn't...
The one that you've actually seen?
Yeah, the bloke falling through the roof, I remember that one, but it wasn't followed by the one with the goat in it. And I wonder whether they just...
Or the rabbit.
Yeah? Whether they've just got the one... And they just show them in a different order every week. They might use the machine they use on Countdown to produce the clips in a random order. Am I all right?
Well, I'm not quite sure, really.
No.
But there you go.
Can't be ruled out. Anyway, listen, so you're right. You're talking about... this is schools for people with disabilities, right? We were more interested, frankly...
Frankly, yes.
Yeah, frankly, my dear, in those who haven't got any disabilities, except they're a bit...
they're naughty.
Yeah, well, naughty's a flattering way of putting it, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether... I mean, you might be able to cast some light on this in view of your own position, Helen, whether that sort of... what do they call them? Well, virtually... Oh, they've got some groovy name for them. I forget what it... But
Go on, think of a groovy name for them.
Well, it's like face on hands encounter, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, management, this, that and the other, cobblers, right? They could do with actually sending Wayne Rooney to one, frankly. But they... where they take kids and instead of...
What about Joey Barton?
Beating... What about him?
Would he not like to go to one?
No. Future England powerhouse.
Okay.
Midfield dynamo.
Okay.
No. So instead of beating these children to submission, which in my view is the correct way of doing things, they attempt to reason with them. And this apparently is beneficial in the long term. That's all I know. That's all I know about it. But I don't know whether they're being... funding is being withdrawn from them. I couldn't say.
I would think so, probably.
OK, then. Thank you. Email just arrived. This is, Hi, James. I'm really enjoying your show. And please, as a special favour to me, could you get me in touch with your last caller? Oh, that wouldn't be Helen, that would be Laura. The lady from Oldham, 15-year-old girl who's pregnant. I think she's got her head screwed on, and I would really like to have a chat to her and all her friends. And that's from G. Glitter. OK, well, normally we wouldn't, you know, we'd we have a policy on that sort of thing, but I'm sure if you get in touch with me here, we can, it's probably best if I send your details to her so she can decide what to do. Okay. But anyway, thanks for the interest. Thanks for getting in touch. Your emails are important to us. So important that I could have sworn we were going to do some. But apparently not now. Very soon then. It's, good heavens above, it's 2 minutes past midnight. That means it's Monday already. Already. Italy have been world football champions for one day. I've not done it yet. I'll do it tonight when we knock off. I've got a world exclusive. I've got a sneak preview of where the Italian squad will be staying for the Euro 2008 and possibly where they'll be staying for the next World Cup in 2010. I've not put it. I will put it on the website. Came across it the other day. World exclusive. I will do it later. You'll be able to see it from tomorrow, right? And that's key103.co.uk. Meanwhile, here, 0161. I should have done this in Italian, really, shouldn't I? 0161 288 0103 is the number to put you on Key 103. Quick one.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
I'm just lost for words. She must have been so desperate to do that, to kill her own child as well.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work.
To get free broadband forever, just answer this simple question. Can you find your way to talktalk.co.uk? TalkTalk from the Carphone Warehouse will give you up to 8 meg broadband free forever with their Talk 3 international call package. So you'll never have to pay to use the internet again. Join up today at talktalk.co.uk. TalkTalk. Free forever. One-off connection fee, line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply, subject to availability.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right, well, we've got a bit of a breather here now. I think we've cleared a little bit of an area, so we can have a look at some of the other ways of communicating with Key 103, which are so much the vogue these days. And go to the email desk where Jackie awaits.
Thank you.
Is it better now? Can you get a...
I don't want to discuss it, thank you very much.
That could be what was making that slight humming noise.
Okay, right. Sandy in New Moston says, "Hi James, listening to the laugh about bringing up children, it's no use blaming the children of 14 for bad behaviour as it's too late by that time. Discipline should have been administered when they were younger and you would not be getting bad behaviour when they're teenagers. I feel there should be a lot more schools for parenting as the knack seems to be lost on this generation."
Well, David Cameron, he's got a bad attack of everything, hasn't he, at the moment? He was going about love.
What?
Love.
Love?
No. Love. Yeah. He's been going on about it. That's the trouble with them. These slouching, knuckle-dragging gits that you see, apparently they don't get enough love.
Oh, dear.
This is the sort of high-powered, apparently revolutionary psychological breakthrough.
It's new age stuff, isn't it?
Well, it's the sort of stuff that people well, there are two ways you can acquire this information. It's very often available in a pamphlet in most general practitioners' waiting rooms, or someone who doesn't really know anything about anything will suddenly make a speech declaring it.
Yeah.
Princess Diana used to do this quite a lot, noted for her many degrees in psychology. She would stand up at meetings of the Women's Institute and say, you know, what children need is a bit of love.
Well, that was her opinion, maybe.
Yeah, well, I've got an opinion about it.
Go on.
But it won't say on the front page of tomorrow's Daily Express.
James H. Reeve reckons.
Give them all a good kicking. Oh, it does. No, to be fair, on the Daily Express, some days it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially immigrants.
Maybe I should
asylum seekers.
draft a press release for them.
Yeah.
You'll get on the front page, no problem. James, tell that idiot that Zidane's headbutt was very bad. His head nearly went through... How do you pronounce this guy's name?
Pardon me?
Materazzi's. Is it Materazzi's?
It's Maserati, isn't it?
Whatever. His chest.
I'd just tackle the letters in the orders in which they're on the paper. That's what I find.
And, by the way, that penalty decision in the first half was a joke. I don't think it was, actually. No contact at all. Headbutt was brilliant, though. Headbutt will live forever.
It was what... here's a name. This will make Joni Newton-Heath, she'll love this.
Go on.
It's what Kent Walton would have described as it was a flying headbutt, wasn't it?
Oh, it was incredible. Incredible.
He said, well, it was like Alien in reverse.
I've never seen anything like that before. He really went in for the kill, didn't he?
It's amazing.
James, are there any plans afoot to have Professor Warwick Hunt back on your show? I'm in desperate need of some of his marvellous advice. My porch is leaking and I'm considering purchasing a conservatory.
Oh, Dr. Hunt is, now then, we must get him because we're nearly at the long vac, aren't we?
I tried. I told you this story, didn't I?
Did you?
Yeah, he was as polite as anything. Lovely bloke when he was here.
Oh, yeah.
Rang his PA secretary, whatever she was, a couple of days later to say thanks, we'd love to have him on the show again, and then requested him come back and didn't hear anything, chased, and they never got back to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought it was really rude.
Oh, well, I'm sorry about that. Perhaps he's on a sabbatical. He might be having a sabbatical.
Well, that could be the case.
I think he'd have finished by now, wouldn't you?
That was a while ago, yeah.
All right, well, I'll see...
Should we chase him again?
Yeah, we'll chase him up.
OK.
Yeah.
Said an Italian to a well-known French footballer, this is from Roy Jackson in Wimso, your wife was great in bed last night.
Have we been doing a bit of forensic lip reading here?
I think so.
Hang on.
There you go.
Give us that. Apparently this was, somebody got sent off in a Rugby League Challenge Cup final as a result of a not dissimilar incident, I believe.
But apparently it looked like Zidane's nipple had been tweaked a little bit.
There has been a bit of that going on, hasn't there?
Yeah, when the other guy had his arm around him.
Well, listen, Jacko, if you parliamo Italiano, I don't know you've come by this information, but if you can throw some light on it, that would be greatly appreciated. We could have how many world exclusives can you get into one show?
Oh, it's just incredible. I have a son with behavioural problems. This is from Ruth in Urmston. Result of ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Is that right? As far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
While some allowances are made in that he gets full-time support, if he is badly behaved to the point he needs to come home, or if he is excluded, I accept it and don't blame the teacher and anyone else who may be in the vicinity. Together we work out what happened, why it happened, and how to avoid a similar situation in the future. You are right, James. You can't stop other children's education just for one child. In an ideal situation, there would be more classroom assistance, but there's no money for it.
Yeah, I mean, something which emerges from the tales I've been told is that the pupils, or students as apparently they have to be referred to now from the age of, I think it's 8 onwards.
Is it not clients?
It might be, right. The learning volunteer.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, there'll be something.
Stupid,
right.
Yeah.
That they... think they own the place. They kick off at school. The teacher uses what few powers he or she has. And after they've had a court of inquiry, they've taken it to the students' committee. Yeah, because they have like a Soviet now.
Right.
Where they all sit around and all this. Right.
The European Court of Human Rights.
Yeah. And they've given them 3 weeks' notice that they want to make them clean the board.
Right.
As long as it doesn't stop them getting the 3:15 bus home. Right?
Or infringe on their human rights.
Yeah. Then the parents come in. How dare you? Okay. How dare you criticise my son? Yes, criticize my son, he used to play for West Brom.
Really?
Criticised my son. You know, how dare you take that attitude to him? He's a good lad, he is, right? And as I say, I know teachers who've been certainly threatened, assaulted. A head teacher was assaulted by a pupil in front of the school. Not allowed to do anything back.
Really?
Not allowed to.
No.
Good job it wasn't me. He'd been flat on his back. I tell you what,
it's good you're not a teacher, then, isn't it?
Well, I mean, what I would do, I would say, because I have long, fond memories of gym teachers.
Oh, I hated my gym
right.
teacher.
But this would be one occasion where they could actually be useful, which is, listen, you, right?
Why are gym teachers always fat as well? Was yours fat?
No.
Ours used to, let me tell you a really quick story about my gym teacher, who actually...
just let me check. It's not on my...
No, it probably isn't.
Not on my docket.
Who actually, on my, parent-teachers evening thingamajig, whatever it is.
Thingamabig job?
Yeah. She told my parents I was a lazy influence on other girls in the class. I was furious. Absolutely furious. She used to sit there, right, and this is my rant, with a Twix bar, every class. She used to sit down because she was fat and lazy with a Twix bar. I'm not going to name her name. I don't think I can remember. And she used to say, star jumps.
Other bars are, other snacks are available.
Right, star jumps, girls, star jumps, and then she'd munch away on a Twix. She was ugly, fat, and horrible.
All right.
There you go.
None of our PE teachers were fat. They were mostly psychopathic. So, yeah. One of them used to get us doing all this. And it used to smoke Capstan full strength.
Oh, right.
Or was it Capstan full? No, senior service. Right. Senior service, I do beg your pardon. And I had the pleasure of meeting him many, many years later. And he was telling me the reason his hands weren't too steady was because of his triple heart bypass. Yeah. And I said, that's a... Yes, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you were always such a stickler on... looking after your body, weren't you?
Health.
Yeah.
I would love to see her again.
Well, I'd love to see him again, but he's dead.
Well, she might be dead.
And whilst one should not wish ill on the dead, most people who came across him in life are prepared to make an exception in his case. Because everyone I've told, and believe me, I've told plenty, everyone I've told is, I said, he's dead.
Oh,
and everyone, honestly, but wait a minute. If your passing produces that reaction in people, who should be examining themselves? Right? Everyone I've told, he said, remember so? Yeah. I saw him, and he'd had a triple up, his hands were, right?
Yeah.
And everybody said, couldn't happen to a nicer boy, right? And of course then, the icing on the cake said, oh, by the way, he's dead. And everyone I've told has said, good.
That's awful.
But do you not take my point? That
yeah,
I do. How many... I've probably still see, now and again, regularly, probably 3 or 4, now and again, perhaps 30 kids that I knew at school. And I bump into people who were at the same school either before or after me, but everybody knows him, they span the generations. And no one has displayed anything but glee at the news that this bloke snuffed it.
I wonder if anyone from my school could tell me whether she's still there or not. She was dreadful. James, tell this silly woman to get her kids a goddamn job. And by the way, you can get a £50 paper round. 50 quid for a paper round? I might do that myself. Hello, Jackie, says Jane in Salford. Can I ask, please, if Q103 send you and James to a radio awards ceremony, is it you or James who wears the little black cocktail dress? You must put some pictures on the website. Please, Jackie, the whole of Manchester is wondering about this.
Well.
And Dave in Swinton, this is this awful joke of the night. This is terrible about the DVDs.
I think I've done that one.
Have you?
Yeah.
That is rubbish, and it does say, this is where Jackie says that's rubbish. And it is rubbish.
It is, in fact, rubbish, yeah.
There you go.
And we've already got a
picture.
Video message of Zinedine Zidane sticking his head through the ribcage of that eye tie. Now, you see, it's like I was saying the other night. An American being elbowed in the nose by an Italian. What do you do? Talk about mixed feelings, and the same here. A Frenchman fighting. That's staggering anyway. In fact, look, when you look at it, it's unbelievable. A Frenchman and an Italian fighting. Surely, such a thing can never have happened before. Yet another world exclusive on James H. Reeve on Key 103. Thank you. Time for another break now, and then what are we going to do after that? Can't remember. Something will crop up. I may have some observations. You may have some of your own. 0161 288 0103 is the norm. 0161 288 0103. You can tell the North West, Great Britain, and the Republic of Ireland, the Benelux countries, and members of the European Union, and even unto the ends of the earth, what you think about anything, really. Yep, that's right.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103.
That's kids for you these days. They don't stick to the laws anymore. They don't bother with them because they're not scared of the police. They're not scared of the government.
With stepping stones into work, don't let disability stop you working. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. The false alarms are over. We're not playing at it anymore. Next time we do it is for real. We'll give away £25,000 cash. We've logged the songs into the computer. The timer is running. The countdown is on. Very soon we'll play the Sugar Babes Push the Button, Madonna's Like a Prayer, and the Stereophonics Handbags and Glad Rags. When we do, we'll pay out £25,000. Key 103's £25,000 triple play. It's getting closer and closer.
Oi, you lot done yet? Me and the girls are just putting the finishing touches to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre. Come on down and find out more about Rockwool Flexi, the fantastic multi-use insulation product with a unique flexible edge. You'll get a free bacon butty and a mug of tea just for turning up. And you can enter our lucky draw and win prizes worth a total of 15 grand. Can't be bad, can it?
Phil, we need you.
On my way. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Get down to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre.
Why try to find your own job when you can put your CV on monster.co.uk? Every week, thousands of employers search Monster looking for the perfect candidate. Put your CV on monster.co.uk today.
Need a late-night pharmacy that's open till midnight? Now your local Boots the Chemist at Trinity Street Retail Park, Bolton, is open for dispensing prescriptions and over-the-counter medicines every night until midnight from Monday to Saturday, and during the day from 10 till 4 Sundays. With easy on-site parking, longer opening hours and a fast service, it's so convenient. For those healthcare emergencies, use our midnight pharmacy at Trinity Street Retail Park, Bolton. Trust Boots.
Settle down, children. Today's lessons. 9 to 10, chemistry. How Teflon-coated trousers are stain resistant. 10 to 11, physics. Why double-stitched seams are stronger. 11 to 12, maths. Saving money on schoolwear with 3 for 2 deals.
Now at your M&S, there's a 3 for 2 deal on selected schoolwear. This is a limited offer and subject to availability. See in store for details.
12 to 1, psychology. Why, you'd be mad to miss out on the 3 for 2 deal.
M&S Schoolwear, a class above.
The Constitution, according to Talk Talk. You have the right to roam the internet freely. You have the right to access information, to download and surf freely. You see, Talk Talk believe the internet is a right, not a privilege. So when you get the new Talk 3 International Call package, you'll get up to 8 meg broadband free forever. Join up at talktalk.co.uk. Talk Talk, free forever. One-off connection fee, line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply, subject to availability.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right, the sender of the video phone photo message graph thing has revealed himself. It's Dempst. Because I sent you that picture of Zizou doing it on what's his name, Maserati. What's his name? Anyway, Nosferatu. He said, I like the Italians. All right. Well, I'm glad they've won it. I really am. I'm glad the High Ties have won it because, to be fair, they might not be able to take part in the next one. Largely because they'll probably be banged up. So it's nice. It's good of them to make the most of this occasion. No disrespect. Oh, I must see my mate. My mate who's half Italian. He suddenly remembered his Italian half in the later stages, if you follow me. I think shortly after England got seen off, it suddenly dawned on him that he was half Italian and they were in with a chance. So suddenly, out came the pesto straight away. Rosemary in Edgeley.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I'm giggling. I've just been listening to you. What I would like to...
Well, how dare you laugh at me?
You're very funny.
Am I?
Extremely amusing.
No, I'm not. A man from Eccles keeps telling me I'm not.
Well, take no notice of him.
Good idea.
Aye. What I was going to say about the attention deficit syndrome, I'm 52 years old. It was unheard of when I was at school.
Yeah, well, so were antibiotics.
No, I'm not quite that old. It was Alexander Fleming brought those in quite a while ago. I don't understand. I think it's possibly to do with the rubbish the kids eat these days.
Too many crisps?
Stuff like that. I was brought up on home cooking, as well, my two brothers too, and...
You were brought up on wholesome stuff, weren't you? Like
absolutely.
Sheep's brains, that sort of thing.
Oh, no.
Right,
No.
Just nice cutlets. Nice cutlets.
Stuff like that.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Chop and chips. Yeah.
Not too many chips either.
Do you know, people don't get that anymore. Chop and chips, that's nice, that, isn't it?
Do you remember... I'm sorry, how old are you?
38.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Well, you won't remember them.
No.
We used to get bags of sweeties when I was a kid called chops, chips and peas. I wonder if any of your listeners remember them.
It's called chopped chips and peas?
They were made of sugar. Terrible for your teeth.
I know you can get like little bits that look like bacon and egg and all that sort of thing, don't they? Hang on, that's one for tomorrow night, that.
They were the consistency of dolly mixtures, but they look like chops, chips and peas.
Right.
No, Spud's chops and peas, I think it was. Spud's chops and peas.
Yes, right. Yeah. Okay, right. Look, that's one for tomorrow night. Don't worry. on our world famous queries and theories night.
What time are you going on tomorrow night?
But in the meantime, we're at 10 o'clock. Usual, yeah.
I'm not a regular listener.
Well, you should be.
I think I should.
In fact, you better and be.
Okay.
I'll just actually, Jackie will take down, because what we do, we have a file on everyone, and we put down the likes and dislikes and all that sort of thing, marital status, anything like that.
Oh, married, nearly 2 years.
Right, nearly 2 years.
Nearly 2 years.
Oh.
Hey, I got lucky late in life.
I know. Have you buried one previously or something like that?
Yes, actually.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes,
has this one got plenty of money?
No.
Oh. Oh, well, never mind.
He's just a nice guy. He's snoring at the moment.
Hang on, have you got plenty of money?
No.
Oh, that's all right. I was worried for you then. Don't sign anything.
No, we just met each other, fell in love and decided to get married. Actually, I proposed to him and he said yes.
You did?
He did. As I say, he's asleep now. He's snoring his little head off.
Well, blimey, it's a whole new lease of life for you then, isn't it? Yeah? Blimey,
well,
Charlie.
I never say die, you know.
He's asleep on the settee and you're...
No, just asleep in bed.
He's asleep in bed?
I'm sitting in the back bedroom, which is also my workroom, and speaking to you.
Whoa, blimey, hey?
What, I'm a tailoress.
It's like Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton all over again, isn't it?
No, silly boy,
What a whirlwind marriage this is.
It was fun. It was the best day of my life and the best wedding I've ever had.
How old are you, did you say?
52.
Oh, don't go into detail.
John's 59.
Oh, God, it doesn't bear thinking about.
stores.
Is it true you met him through that? I've been dying to do this one.
Go on, do it.
I was told that you met him through that introduction agency for people of a certain age.
No, I didn't, dear.
You know, the one that's called Carbon Dating.
You so you. You're a rotter.
I can't even remember who I stole that one off.
It was probably the fat lads.
It must have been Dave Spikey. Must have been. I pinch all my stuff off him.
Oh, dear me. You dreadful man.
It's good, isn't it?
Oh, anyway.
So listen.
Uh-huh.
So, what was it? Yeah, at ADHD and what have you. I thought, I get mixed up because I'm a member of the HDRA.
Which is?
The Henry Doubleday Research Association. Which is a charity which specialises in organic gardening techniques. I'm not making that up.
I think you are.
I am not. I've got me membership on me here, actually.
We've got our own little organic gardener here. He's called Casper and he's a cat.
Well, yeah, they
and he fertilises.
They keep it well mulched, don't they? Well, do you know, that's why when I was a goalkeeper they used to call me the cat.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to bury my own... Anyway. Listen.
My husband used to play lacrosse for Cheshire.
Oh, that's a nutcase's game, lacrosse.
He's a bit of a nutcase.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he's a bit disabled now.
Well, I would imagine so. Mostly in the nose area.
No, his brains are fine, his nose is fine. It's his uncle.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What's it usually?
They've offered to cut it off to cure it.
Well, that sounds a bit drastic to me. Is it? Yeah. Usually lacrosse players, it's the nose that is all over the cake shop. It's all over the show because it's always getting broke.
He wore a helmet. He wore a helmet.
All right.
They make them wear helmets now.
Yes.
Even then.
And was it his helmet that attracted you to him?
No.
No.
Okay. Naughty boy. No, it was his brain. It's nice to beat another man with brains, actually.
I've got a load of helmet gags there, all ready to roll.
I bet you have.
Yeah.
Go on.
Anyway, no, what I was going to say, listen. This, the ADHD. Right. It has to be conceded that they are finding things now that, I mean, for example, just to continue on the evening's sporting theme, Rosemary, is that at one time nobody did the cruciate ligament. Nobody ever injured the cruciate ligament. This was largely because nobody knew you'd got one. Right.
Bit like your gluteus maximus.
Not strictly speaking. Not in this case. But it's a nice thought.
Do you know what it is, your gluteus maximus?
Yes, a lot of people talk through it.
That's right.
Yes. Well, between them, strictly speaking.
Absolutely right.
Let's not go into detail.
No.
Right. The point I'm trying to make is this, that we do actually discover that there are such... I mean, at one time, if you'd claimed that you were dyslexic, people wouldn't have believed you because it wasn't recognised.
I know, but from my younger brother's experience, we grew up in Boxton, went to a local primary school, and they said that my brother was backward, and he'd never learned to read, and they used to stick him in the back of the class with a piece of embroidery to do.
Embroidery?
Yes. When I was 13, we moved over to Cheadle-Hulme, which is a wretched place in itself, but never mind. And they knew immediately what was wrong with him, and gave him special books to read, and my mum taught him at home. And he's a millionaire.
Is he really?
Yeah.
And despite being dyslexic? Right.
He lives in Australia, in Sydney now. Very wealthy young man.
Well, you see, it doesn't... I mean, the thing about dyslexia is... one of two things can happen. You can either go downhill, you know, it can affect you. In fact...
my mother wouldn't have let any of us go downhill.
Well, only to fetch a pail of water.
Therein lies another story, but I might tell you that another time.
Yeah, not now, please.
All right. Am I hogging the lane?
No, the one, you see, it can lead to personal tragedy. There's a dyslexic friend of mine. He died through. It was terrible. He turned to drugs and everything.
Oh.
And in the end, what killed him was he tried to inject himself with a heron.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon my language, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, well, I hardly expect such a thing in Edgeley. But on the other hand, you see, another friend of mine who, funnily enough, had the same problem, he did very well, despite his dyslexia, and he was named in the Queen's Birthday Honours list. He was awarded an oboe.
Get off with you.
That's what he said, yeah.
Dear me.
Yeah. So,
you're even dafter than I am, aren't you?
Yeah, it can go either way. What was it you wanted?
Just to say hello, and to say that when I was a child, all these strange conditions didn't exist.
Yeah, well, I'll go so far with them, but I think there does come a point where you're suffering from what I think is an age-old affliction and a tendency.
Idolitis?
Yeah, well, it may very well be swinging the lead.
Same thing as idolitis.
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, if I'd had more time, I'd have made up a very convincing but entirely phony Latin name for that.
You need to speak to Millsman for that when he's awake. He did Latin in school.
Well, don't wake him up especially.
No, I'm not going to.
It would begin with plum, anyway.
Yes. Dead thick. Oh, dear.
Yes. Anyway, my attention span's just run out.
All right.
Yes.
It's been lovely to speak to you.
I'm sure it has. That was Rosemary in Edgeley with, still, obviously the magic hasn't died yet, has it? So, there she was, sitting up in her bed jacket. Can you still get them? I bet you can get them out of the Sunday Mirror, that little booklet with all gadgets in. I bet they've got them in there. I'll go and have a look upstairs in a minute, because there's usually one knocking about. But it has the low energy light bulbs, and the thermal this, that and the other, and the luggage straps, suitcase straps, and the penis enlargement pump, all on the same page, next to the send-off of those labels for your clothing. Very strange. Still, I suppose, times change. Nearly time to go to Wythenshawe. It can't be time to go to Wythenshawe. Surely there's no such thing as a time to go to Wythenshawe. Well, there is. And it's right now. Well, it's almost right now. It's in actual fact in about a minute and a half. I lied about that. It's a bit more than that. But I did that for a reason. Let me explain. So as not to put you off. This is a true story. A friend of mine, you know it's a true story when it begins with a friend of mine, was on holiday, and this is what will absolutely convince you, in Ireland. And he sees this sign, it says, good food, fine ales, 1.5 miles that way. So he thinks, oh, that sounds all right. So he turns off, and he drives down this road, and he drives for about 6 miles until he comes to this pub that says, good food, fine ales. And he goes inside. He said, it's a long way to this pub, isn't it? He said, it says 1.5 miles on the main road. He said, but in actual fact, it's more like 6. And the landlord said, he said, yeah, but if I'd put 6 on the sign, you wouldn't have come. So that's the point I'm making. I trust we see eye to eye on this one. Wythenshawe's next.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103.
I got really mad and thought, well, stuff you. I can do this. I know that you're wrong and I can do better than this.
With stepping stones into work, advice and support to help you back into work.
Stop me
the original and hear it live. The Rolling Stones are playing at Twickenham Stadium on August the 20th, and American Express can get you there. You could win 2 tickets to a Bigger Bang tour, and 1 Lucky Card member could become a roadie for the day. To enter, go to americanexpress.co.uk/stones. American Express. My life, my card. Terms, conditions and restrictions apply.
I'm Eileen and I'm quitting with nicotine. I was quite dubious about giving up cigarettes because when I gave up before, I did put on a bit of weight. But now I'm 6 weeks into it, and I really find with the nicotine lozenges that not only are they helping to take away my cravings for the cigarettes, which is great, but also I find that I don't have to be eating and nibbling all the time, so far so good.
Eileen quit smoking last year using nicotine CQ 4mg lozenges, which helped Eileen control her cravings and her weight while she quit. Requires willpower, contains nicotine, always read the label.
Oi, you lot done yet? Me and the girls are just putting the finishing touches to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre. Come on down and find out more about Rockwool Flexi, the fantastic multi-use insulation product with a unique flexible edge. You'll get a free bacon butty and a mug of tea just for turning up. And you can enter our lucky draw and win prizes worth a total of 15 grand. Can't be bad, can it?
Phil, we need you.
On my way. Oh, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it.
Get down to the Rockwool Roadshow at your local build centre.
I meet Rachel under the laughing tree. She swings down lightly from a branch and off we skip through fields of sparkling wit. Birds titter, a playful breeze teases pink clouds across the sky. Once or twice our path dissolves in shrieks, but we find our way to the giggling stream, where we splash around until we hang up.
With free weekend calls and texts for Vodafone pay-as-you-talk customers, where will your conversation take you? Use £5 Monday to Friday. Join in-store or call 2345 on Vodafone. Make the most of now.
Excludes 08 and 09 numbers. Each call up to 60 minutes to any network. Fair use and conditions apply.
Can't wait to get on holiday. Cosmos has thousands of holidays ready to go. To book, call 0870 145 5000 or click cosmosholidays.co.uk. Go book it.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
21 minutes to 1. Neil is in Wythenshawe. Neil, you're on Key 103.
Hi, mate. You all right?
No. Are you?
No, I'm not, actually.
Right.
Yeah, I was a bit mortified by what you said before. You had a caller on before, and as she went off, you turned around and said to her, as she went off, she couldn't reply to you, you said, she needs a bullet in the back of the head.
No, I didn't. I said...
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, mate.
No, I didn't.
And you bang out of order for that, mate.
No, but I didn't say that, Neil.
Come on, mate.
No,
yeah,
I didn't say that. No, I didn't.
That's exactly what I heard.
It is not.
That's why
it is
I
not.
rang.
Yeah, but it is not exactly what I said.
You bang out of order for what you said.
But that's not what I said.
What did you say? Come on.
Now then, what I said was, if it were up to me, my death squads roaming the streets would sort out all these people and get a bullet in the back of the head.
Right, well, you bang out of order, mate.
Oh,
yeah.
but you see, when my party gets in, and assuming it will have to be a bullet for the time being because we haven't yet perfected.
No, it hasn't got to be a bullet because that's going to get to grain, isn't it? I must admit, you're talking to somebody that knows now. Right? I was blown up by the IRA.
Right.
Right. And I was the worst injured in 1992. Right.
We voted that or what?
No, I was the worst injured, mate. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Right. I nearly lost my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. In December 1992 in Manchester. Right, not 96, 92.
Okay, I didn't say...
And
you did say 96.
That really, really hurt me when I heard what you said, yeah? Because with everything that's going on in this world today, yeah?
Yeah.
That's not nice, hearing it from a fellow...
From a respected opinion former in the Northwest.
Yeah.
But you see, if we are to improve this world, then there are certain types who will... sadly, have to be eliminated. It's as Uncle Joe said, you can't make an omelette...
somebody that's going to ring your show up...
Can't make an omelette without breaking eggs.
Somebody that's going to ring your show up, yeah?
I would imagine, Neil, that you are a great admirer of Britain's finest Prime Minister, as recently voted by the great British public, Winston Spencer Churchill.
Definitely not.
Why
definitely not? Eh?
He led this country through its darkest days.
What, Mr. Blair? And Mr. Churchill?
Churchill. I never mentioned Blair.
Right.
You see, now, how can we trust when you can't... You assure me that I've said something, and yet you can't be trusted to remember a simple thing about the name of a British Prime Minister that I said just a few seconds ago.
You said British Prime Minister?
Yeah, Britain's finest Prime Minister.
Finest?
Yeah, as voted by the great British public in a recent poll.
Right. Okay.
In fact, I think he was voted the greatest Briton of all time, narrowly beating Isambard Kingdom Brunel.
Well, I was just going to say that.
Right.
Brunel Kingdom, yeah.
Yeah, Brunel Kingdom, yeah. And you said Tony Blair. I never said Tony Blair.
No, when you said Prime Minister.
Yeah, but I said a lot of other stuff which should have given the game away.
Right.
So, if you say that I just said Tony Blair then how can you be believed when you say that I said anything?
Right.
You are an unreliable witness, Neil.
Right, well, can you apologise for what you said?
No.
You're not going to apologise?
No.
Right, okay.
Because when my death ray is perfected, I agree. I'm
not an idiot, mate.
I concede that the bullet is. I mean, it's like they said, the bullet and the choice between the bullet and the ballot box. Well, both of them are very messy.
Mm-hmm.
So, the death ray, which again I must send a memo to the engineers to ask them how they're getting on with it. So they're doing a feasibility study. That will be clean, efficient.
Feasibility study?
The engineering department here.
Right.
At the moment, they're trying to fix the air conditioning, but as soon as they've done that,
okay, so I am an idiot.
They're getting on to the death ray. Yeah,
so you're making me look more of an idiot.
Well, don't take it too badly. That was Neil in Withenshaw. Right. Look, I know. Progress. There are always people who dig their heels in, but what can you do? You know what I mean? Put him on the list, I suppose. Okie doke. I can't do that one. Blimey, Charlie. Right. Muzza in Manchester says, James, I went to have a look at Main Road the other day. All that's left is a load of weeds. How sad is that? Remember Bell Lee Summerby and the packed kippacks. Those are the days. I'm now off to bed with my cocoa. Yeah, well, I've not been back, actually. I've not been back. Oh, somebody did send me a very offensive prediction. Well, it's sort of a prediction and a bit of a challenge as regards next season. And I must find it and reply to it because, it's all very well. It's all very well to sit there sending in snidey emails. But I have the right of reply. Zidane, emailing from Germany. Now, I'm suspicious. All right, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It goes, listen very carefully. I will say this only once. I headbutted the greasy attire in the chest. They are only good enough. There's rather more Z's in there than is necessary, actually. They say I am only good enough to play for Man City, and I wasn't having any of that crap. If I was to carry on playing, I would rather go to Rochdale. Berg. And that's from Mr. Zan. Thank you. That's the best I can do, really, with that. I've done that one. Right. Dance in Manchester says, yes, it's talking about, what was the name before? Can't remember. What a silly girl, always blaming someone else. Tell her to grow up and tell a person to grow up as well. There is a claim here, and we shall not identify an individual, you see, who is, claims that there is a 19-year-old gent in the area who is sleeping with 50, I was just checking there, 15-year-old girls. Well, that's outrageous. Okay. Again, a whacking great email. Do them a bit, Try and keep them within the bounds. Dempst says, don't worry about it. I'm fully behind everything you say about bullets and death rays in the back of the chavs' heads. Vote James H. Reeve. Okay, yeah. Let's look into it. Thank you. Oh no. Oh no. So I'm just looking round for a way out, for an alternative to this, but there doesn't seem to be one. In that case, it's a warm welcome back to Mike in the city centre!
Hello, James.
Hiya, Mike. How's it going?
Yeah.
Turn the wireless down.
I've just turned it right down to the minimum volume. How are you?
Oh.
I've not heard for you a long time, no here.
Yeah. Anyway.
Are you alright?
Yeah, what's new in your life, Mike?
Yeah, not very much.
Things looking up?
Yeah, well, you know, I've got, you know, things looking up, you know, well, things are looking not just as there was before, but, you know, I've got money, you know, I can, you know, do what I want, but it's, you know, that's not, I've not got a woman. I need a woman, and, you know, that's what's doing my head in, because I can't get one.
Right. Are you still drunk virtually the whole time?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to say the truth, because
I don't think you could have kidded me anyway, actually.
Probably not, no. But the reason I am is because I haven't got one. If I had one, excuse me, let me just put this right out now. Yeah, if I had a woman, then I wouldn't be drunk, because, you know, that I know, because I've not had a woman for 6.5 years.
Yeah.
The last time I split with one was the millennium.
The old saddlebags must be a bit full by now, then, eh?
Oh, we are, James.
Yeah.
Can I just say as well, you know, I'm desperate for a woman, but, you know, it will turn up in the time. It will turn up in time.
Yeah.
No, the right woman.
The thing is, Mike, I mean,
you've been married for years, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've been married for umpteen years, haven't you?
I tell you what, I've had 2 very happy years of marriage.
I know you have.
Yeah. Been married for 9.
Yeah.
Anyway, you see, I'm not necessarily an expert on these things, but it seems to me, Mike, that we've got a bit of a vicious circle here.
Yeah.
Haven't we? In that you're drunk because you haven't got a woman.
Yeah.
No woman's going to look at you because
I'm drunk.
Because you're a shambling drunk.
Mm.
Now, somehow, and I'm counselling you here as best I can, somehow we've got to break out of this, haven't we, Mike?
We have, yes.
Now, did we try being sober?
Yeah.
It's an old dodge, but it might just, you know.
You know what, James? There's one thing I wanted to say to you before.
Could we just go back to the bit, because you seem to have sort of skated over that one.
Yeah.
The part about being sober.
Yeah. I can be sober. I can be sober for lengths of time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just suddenly hits me when I'm on my own, because I'm on my own all the time, and I've got all this money. I can just go out and just buy 16 cans of Budweiser, and that's it.
Have you got lots
I'm stupid.
Have you got plenty of money? Loads of money?
Yeah. And I'm stupid with it.
How much of the time are you drunk?
Probably, honestly, 3 to 4 times a week, heavily drunk.
Okay. Don't go away, just let me... 3 to 4 times a week, he says. Yeah. 3 to 4, is that too much? Oh, no,
it's a hell of a lot, you know, with when you're drinking 12 to 16 cans of Budweiser, because it's quite strong beer. It's like 5%.
I'd have thought 12 to 16 cans of Bud, you'd be all right. You're probably okay to drive on that nuts.
No,
Can't
James.
stick it myself. Anyway.
I thought you would be having a go at me about what I said to you the other day, last about the countdown thingy, or... Sorry.
No, no, it must have slipped past me, that one. The thing is this, you see, when you mentioned that you got quite a lot of money, Jackie, her face became rather more animated than is customary. You know, like, if you go, you know, like, if you've got a dog and you go... Like
a dog wants a bone.
Well, I'm not so sure about let's not rush things, but you know, if you go, and the dog like looks around like that, whoa, and when she heard, I've got plenty of money, her head swung round like that. And
I have, James, but it's not my fault. I've got so much, you know, it's not my fault.
Well, maybe Jackie could make you feel less guilty.
I'd love to take somebody out shopping, you know, and spend money on them. Also, I'd love to spend it, you know. I really would, but I can't because I haven't got anybody to spend it on. So I'm sat here with it in my bank account, building up, interest.
And nothing worse. And I tell you what, mate, it's not the only thing you sat there with it building up.
No.
You know, I'm building up a problem.
If you wanted a night in, say, with 16 buds, then, you know, I could maybe take one of your cards and, you know, just have a bit of a spending spree.
Will you take my MasterCard away from me? Or are you joking? If I posted my MasterCard to
I'd give the card back to you at the end of the, you know, the end of the day.
Because it's not...
feel a bit better, you know, that money was getting spent.
Just a word of warning here, Mike. Jackie's previous boyfriend, the credit card was stolen, and he didn't report it to the police because the thief was spending less than Jackie.
No, I like Jackie.
Should we do that one again?
You know, she's a nice person.
Hey?
I like Jackie. She's a nice person, you know, she's straight, she's down there, you know, she's like an arrow, she tells you, you know, straight to the point, you're either on or you're not, and that's it, you know, she's, you know, straight to the point.
Like an arrow, yeah. I like that, like an arrow.
A dart, you know.
Yes.
Treble 20.
Yes. So,
can I just say something to you before we go?
Oh, okay.
I've got to say sorry. I said that, you know, that Connor Travis from Countdown, I've got to say that,
that little kid?
That little kid, I said that he will be champion of champions, but he wasn't. He was just a champion.
Oh, so did you have him on a treble?
No, but I've got... I had France on a double with Maresmo, and I've just been cleaned out, sorry. Well, not been cleaned out, but it's only 300 quid.
Oh, dear.
I've just lost 300 quid on a double with Maresmo, you know, winning the title.
Yes.
And France winning the World Cup.
Have you still got plenty of money spare, though, even though you've lost that 300?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And lots. You know, money to burn, that's what annoys me.
It must get on you.
I hate it.
Right, that's enough from you. Right. Michael, look, we are going to have to start to wrap things up now and move along. However,
otherwise, why wouldn't I have bought you some DVDs?
Absolutely, although they were, of course, extremely violent and disturbing.
I know.
However, it's nice to hear that things are looking up a little bit and that you're only out of your box for 3 or 4 days a week. It is a tricky one, this, and I haven't yet come round to a way of how we can break this pattern. It's a bit
Jackie want some money?
Send Jackie some money.
I want a cheque for what?
What?
How much? 20 quid?
Oh,
30
whatever.
quid,
No,
50?
I would have thought more than that if you really want to impress her.
All right.
And of course, a small token to me.
What's the last name? I'll have to know my last name.
Well, just put out to Bearer.
Oh, Key 103.
Yeah, Bearer. Just put. Tell you what, put my name on it, and then it'll save. And I can go to the Bureau de Change. Look, we will have to. We'll have to actually devote ourselves rather more to Mike's problem, because I can't really think of a way out of it, as I say, without resorting to the death ray to which I alluded earlier. And the time isn't probably right for that. I tell you what, though, we will move on, and we'll return at 10 p.m. this evening. Now, I think I'm right in saying that you've got an hour of non-stop music after the news at 1, and then it's Danny Matthews, isn't it? Yeah. Taking you through the night, right the way through until 2 in the morning at, I think, 5:30. Anyway, all that starts after this.
The James H. Reeve